French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Like, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody. We are coming off of a hot wrestling weekend. No matter what the letters of the company were, there were some great matchups this weekend, and we are capping it off with WWE's Evolution. I am James Gisanti, joined by Danny Hernandez, and our first time joining special guest, long time in the making, Dashy L. Dash, I'm so happy to be here with us. We are going to talk wrestling. We're going to talk life. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to build a bond tonight. And you know that you are someone on the internet, so be prepared for some very weird people to start annoying you online. But that's just part of the job. That's just how this goes. I should also mention, this is the Mark It Down podcast, where we are marks who talk about wrestling. So before we get into the nitty gritty and we talk about some of the crazy stuff that happened this episode, or this premium live event that WWE threw together, Dash, what did you think overall of the show? You don't got to get into anything specific yet because we're going to do it, but was thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways?
Oh, for me, it was 2 thumbs up. Like, what? It was amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I agree with you. I really enjoyed this show. Danny, you know, there was some unfortunate negativity going into this show. A lot of outside factors affecting a lot of people's perception of what this show was going to be. Did you think that was as big a factor as a lot of people on the internet made it to be? And do you think they overcame that?
Was it a big deal? Yes. Did it affect the quality of the show at all? Absolutely not. And I never thought it would for a second. I think anyone who's watched enough would know that the women were always going to knock it out of the park tonight, and that was never in doubt. The only thing worth criticizing is the lack of build going into it, and how a lot of these wrestlers deserve more. You know, deserve more in-depth stories. But it's 2 separate things. One's an issue to criticize, but this show tonight is a celebration and should be praised. So I would also give the show 2 thumbs up. Flew by. What an easy, enjoyable watch the show was.
I completely agree. I, as you guys know, I attended AEW All In yesterday. I am so tired. I was very afraid I was going to fall asleep during the show and have Danny call me a sexist. But I was so entertained. I mean, for different reasons, but not because I fell asleep. But I was so entertained. I was so enthralled. And they not only kept me awake, they kept my attention. And I was just so invested in this show. I don't think there was a bad match on the card. I think there might have been one that sort of fell a little low of expectations. But overall, just an absolute top to bottom great show. What up, Dev? Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Women a lot better than some guys. Hell yeah.
They're not ready for that convo. I mean, we waited 6 years, but here we are. The build wasn't perfect, but they absolutely killed this pay-per-view. Like, they showed that the women are like a pinnacle in this company. And I agree, like, the build wasn't as perfect, but they killed it regardless. I mean, just star-studded all the way.
Well, let me ask you, Dash, because I've said this a few times, and I genuinely mean it. For me personally, watching WWE, I am so much more interested in the women's division than I am the men. I'm like borderline completely checked out in almost every single storyline on the men's half. So I'm just like, all right.
Bloodline that. I mean, I love the bloodline, but how many more bloodline members do we need?
I mean, an endless amount, apparently. Like, we're never going to stop having bloodline members, but you know, like, I don't know. Like, so I was excited for the show because it's the part of WWE I'm the most invested in right now. And without the parts that I'm a little bit less invested in right now. So to me, it was a perfect storm of a match. I don't know.
I agree with you. I agree with both of you. I think you guys nailed it. The energy was alive for something with this show, and the energy was there because I think I agree with both of you that the investment in the women in WWE is just so high right now. And that energy, like, we knew what was going to start the show. We knew that it was going to be the triple threat, and the anticipation was there. I knew Danny.
Hey James, I think I can't really figure that out.
Yeah, okay. It's not just. I was literally about to type to him in the chat. James might cut out a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had such a fun joke. I set it up perfectly. It's gone. The moment's ruined. Just like the start of this pay-per-view was ruined and the energy was zapped from us because of Stephanie McMahon, who she cannot allow the thought, the concept of women to exist without her. I think she might be the original woman in all of the world.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I was very happy to see Stephanie. Overall, I am always more happy to see Stephanie than I'm not. But I love this retroactive, oh, wow, we wouldn't have had any of this if it wasn't for Stephanie. I don't want to be overly negative. It's something so small. She was just the co-host of the show, along with Joe, something Italian. And I couldn't help rolling my eyes just a little bit when she showed up. Did anybody agree with me? Does anybody disagree with me? Am I an ass?
Yeah, honestly, I love Steph, but when she was speaking to Stephanie Vaquer in Spanish, it kind of reminded me of that meme where she's laughing.
Yeah.
A white woman says gracias to a Mexican waitress. I was like, giving that vibe, but at least she tried. But yeah.
Right, like I'm like, you got to be chronically online enough to know that, like, because Triple H is like a chronically online guy, so there's no way Stephanie isn't aware that she's used for that meme. Yeah, 100% has a burner. Oh my god, we have so many comments. So I guess before we get in to the first talking point, we gotta go through this. I'm gonna skip Eric's first comment.
Eric who?
Yeah, exactly. Matt looks different. Just you wait. Matt's gonna look exactly the same as we always expect him to. So give it time. We got W guests. Well, I assume they mean guests. So look at that. Dash already has fans in the chat.
Woo! Appreciate it, guys. I'm just now looking at the chat. Didn't even realize.
Happy to have you here, Dash.
Yeah, we are very happy. How did Tony Storm do?
How did Tony Storm do? I mean, I don't want to turn I don't want to turn this. I don't want to turn this into AEW versus WWE. I think every woman who performed on every show absolutely killed it.
I 100% agree with that. Honestly, women go hard.
It's funny because at the first Evolution, it was Tony versus Io Shirai. So it's crazy how times have changed, and she had such a great match with Mercedes, who was also a part of Evolution. So it was really good. It was just like a fun packed women's wrestling weekend, in my opinion.
No, genuinely was. I didn't watch Great American Bash, but I'm sure that the tag match was fun too.
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube, honestly.
You just offended all 5 people who decided to watch Great American Bash instead of Holland.
Oh no.
I mean,
that's not a knock on anybody. It's not a knock on anybody. They were set up to see it. It's a knock on booking. It's a knock on executives. It wasn't cool for them to do that.
Okay. Dev says Royal Rumble needs 2 nights, one for the women, one for the guys. Maybe, but I also saw someone posit that the Women's Rumble could be on Evolution. And although I wouldn't like it because I like the Mania aspect of it, it would be more interesting than a Battle Royal. But Also, I don't want more 2-night pay-per-views. I don't care.
Thank you.
I don't want them.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you work, it's like, two days of wrestling. As much as I love it,
I got into it with someone on Twitter. He's all over social media. His name's Suplex, like that's his handle. That he was just like, I don't care how good the wrestling is. If the show is 5 to 6 hours, I don't care what company it is. It's too much for me. I'm like, I would rather dedicate 5 to 6 hours every once in a while to something truly great than dedicate an entire weekend to anything. It's exhausting. As someone who goes to these shows, bruh, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't have it in me. I'm old. I don't have it.
I'm debating which like SummerSlam I may attend because to do Saturday or Sunday, get to see Cena. So I'm pretty much torn between which ticket to get. I definitely don't want to get both.
Yeah, I'm literally waiting for like
first.
Yeah, like it's worse too because now we're gonna have to pay more money because we're waiting. Like. So we suffer no matter what. Honestly.
They're getting the same amount of money from us no matter what, whether it's the one night or the one night later on or 2 nights early on. It's evil. It's diabolical.
It is.
We have Naomi Bloodline.
True. In a way.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time. When Ava showed up on screen, I was like, it's happening, isn't it? One day, she's gonna lead them.
She's doing it for Big Jim.
Yeah. It's never enough. We got the.
I think they meant Bloodline members.
Yeah, no, I figured. What did I say?
I don't know what you said. I cut you off before you could say anything. So
that's usually for the best.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for now. I got a lot of criticism for my audio. I apologize. And other than that, Eric is Eric. So we're just going to pass on. Eric, check your text, by the way. Fix this for me when you can. But moving on to the first match of the night. We had the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line as Becky Lynch defended against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, I would say other than maybe one other match. Oh, there he is. Or in this instance, there they are. Oh no, they want me to continue.
That's not going to make sense till a few minutes from now, but it's fine.
This was probably the best story of the night coming into the pay-per-view, probably having one of the best builds. Not the longest build. Obviously, Naomi and Jade Cargill has been going on for a while. But this match just had so much heat going into it. All three women have just absolutely been selling their disdain for one another, their animosity amongst all three of them. And that really played into the match. I loved that there was never really a sustained moment where any combination of the two were teaming up. It was every woman for themselves. It was every woman trying to win this match, and they were unafraid to take out anybody. It was great. Right out the gate, right out the bell, we had Bayley knocking out Lyra, throwing her out of the ring, leading to two of our 4 horsewomen going at it. I thought some of these spots were just absolutely super creative. These three just had such complementing styles, and obviously they know each other super well. Becky and Bayley going back to NXT. I'm told that Becky and Lyra have some connection that I've never heard of before. It's never referenced on TV whatsoever.
What even is Ireland? That's not even a real thing.
Exactly. See, you get it. And I've been there, and you get it. But just absolutely stunning counters. All three women. There was just no moment where I felt like I could breathe watching this match. The finish coming around with all three women getting a shot at winning the match, as we had multiple pinning attempts after all three women hit their finishers. The manhandle slam from Becky, the Nightwing, which is just the best named move in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
And you get it. And Bayley's terrible finisher that she is just too stubborn to ever change. The finish coming as was it Lyra who was pinning Bailey?
No, it was Bailey who was pinning Lyra.
Yeah. Bailey was pinning Lyra, and then Becky literally jumps in with quite possibly the coolest pin that I've ever seen. Rolling up Bailey. Thank you. Rolling up Bailey from the roll-up that she had rolled Lyra into and sneaking the 1-2-3 win. The man walking out with the Intercontinental Championship. I was very pleasantly surprised that she walked out with the title. I think it was the right move, but Danny, because I know you're so unbiased and you just have no favorite in this match, did you agree that it was the right move?
Yes. Yes, I did. I mean, it's the right move because, and I could gush about this match a lot. I don't want to too much because I'm very excited to hear what our guest has to say about all the matches. But I loved the way this went down. Like you said, this was a fantastic finish. A roll up. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Or maybe, maybe it's deep in the crevices of somebody's wrestling memory and they could pull out someone hitting this in a random ROH match in 2005 or something. But I've never seen that before. And it continues an ongoing thread of this story, which is nobody has pinned anyone definitively. It's all been roll-ups. Even before WrestleMania, when Bailey beat Lyra in a random qualifier match to get into the chamber, she won via roll-up. These women cannot beat each other definitively with their finishers, and every single match keeps us going. So Becky winning means that we can get the final blow-off between her and Lyra and/or her and Bailey, but I think you do her and Lyra, and then post-title is when you continue Bailey, Becky. And now, no matter what we know, this feud ends when someone hits a finisher and pins someone 1-2-3 instead of a roll-up like it's been happening. So match was fantastic. I think, up until the main event, I don't think this match was even close to being topped, and then the main event was on par with that. I think maybe, I don't know. It's hard because of what happened in the main event to compare now, because now it's a whole other angle besides just the match. But this was as good of a pay-per-view opener as you can ask for. A random stat I saw someone throw up on Twitter is that Becky Lynch has maybe the best triple threat catalog, in the entire roster. It's got, the first one with Sasha and Charlotte at WrestleMania, the one with Bianca and Asuka a couple years ago was fantastic. This one, it's a stacked resume.
I love that you skipped over her WrestleMania main event.
Right, the triple threat.
Right. I mean, I was there for that, and it's different because being in the building, I don't care how the finish was. It was just all that mattered was that Becky won. So I can't judge that one as fairly because it's I've never watched back Bryan versus Omega because being there was, I don't ever want to watch it. I was there, I lived it, it was perfect. So I do sometimes skip over that one in that regard. But Lyra's my favorite in-ring wrestler in WWE this past calendar year. I think she's one of the most excited ones. She wrestles like no one else. She hits power moves, but she's a technician and a brawler all in one. And she hits her occasional high flying, but that's not her main thing. Her matches are all so different from one another. Yeah. And I said this recently. I don't know why I was talking about it reviewing an AEW show, but Lyra always puts different moves in her matches, and then you don't see them again for months, and then she'll bust it out again. You're like, oh shit, yeah, she hasn't hit that in a long time because she has an endless arsenal of moves because she's that special of a wrestler. And what I mean, I don't want to sell Bailey short either because Bailey's also amazing, and for someone who was a third wheel in this feud, this feud has kind of revitalized what was Bailey, who felt like she was going nowhere post title win at WrestleMania 40. So I don't know. This feud has been perfect to me. It's been my favorite thing on WWE television for the past two months, however long it's been, 3 months since it started till now. Like this has been the most I've been interested in anything going on in WWE. So I loved it. I couldn't have asked for a better start to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was an amazing way to kick out the second ever Evolution. I love me some Becky Hogan, so this is like her second victory, but besides that, I feel like Lyra has so much like in store for us. Like she's also one of my newer favorites. I love her bird gimmick. I feel like it's always astonishing when she comes out with her wings and stuff like that. And the crowd loves her. I mean, they loved Becky and Bayley, of course, but Lyra, I feel like she's gonna be like a future women's champ for sure. But
absolutely.
This match had a lot of near falls, so it was pretty hard to, kind of guess who would win it. But I mean, who knows? It might lead up to something more crazier between Bayley and Becky, or maybe even Lyra and Becky. I mean, either way, it's like, what? The story is just really amazing. I wanted Lyra to win, by the way, but it just has more stuff in store for the future. Yeah. So I don't mind, gotta let the heel win. I know a lot of people get mad and think that, Becky just receives opportunities, but honestly, Becky earns it. Like she really puts her body on the line every time she wrestles, and I love her.
Yeah, I mean, and just look how this has paid off. Like, because I've been a fan of Lyra pretty much since I first was able to see her wrestle. But like, you compare like even when she won the Intercontinental title to when she entered this program with Becky, where like the crowd has come around to her, where like she always won the crowd over during the matches, but now she just gets pops for everything, her entrance, for her promos. And it's like, that's the payoff. That's why we're doing this. Like Becky Hogan, but she's literally back to put her wrestling daughter higher up on the card. And probably Io will be a world champion like next year sometime, because this feuding with Becky and Bayley is going to put her at another level. And I think it's just been a raging success. I don't think you could say anything, even if the people who hate Becky cannot pretend that this feud has not done wonders for Lyra, who I think will win in the end. I didn't think Lyra's going to win it tonight because I think, and I love it.
She's already the first IC Women's Champion, so that's an accolade.
And she's going to be probably the first two-time IC champion. Yeah. And like, I love Bayley, but Bayley was in this match to take the pin, and because Bayley will be fine because it's Bayley, and that gives Lyra just enough for this to pay off at SummerSlam at a bigger, well, I don't want to say bigger stage, because I'll be honest, I think Evolution's better than SummerSlam will be, but we'll see. But that's the end goal is getting that definitive win where Lyra hits the Nightwing, pins Becky 1, 2, 3, and no more roll-ups, just a definitive finish between the two.
Well said. First of all, I apologize, and I blame Dash, because I realized as I was introducing this that I was
gonna point it out. Then the match was so good that I'm like, I don't care though, since we're talking about this first.
And you may wonder, why do I blame Dash? It's because I don't want to be responsible, and it's just easier to pass it off on the new person who did nothing wrong. So it's absolutely Dash's fault, and that is the official story here at the pod, that I did nothing wrong in my life ever.
It's on record now.
Do you want to explain what you're blaming her for? Because I feel like you didn't actually explain it.
I did. We were supposed to start with the main event, and I didn't do that. Honestly, let's just blame Matt. Wouldn't that be better for everybody? He's not even here to defend himself. So I think that's just perfect. So it's going to be Matt's fault. But yes, this was a great way to start the night. The crowd was super into it. Dash, you absolutely mentioned it, and I loved it. The wings are so freaking cool for that entrance. The way she had an epic entrance was just awesome.
Like, so they look great.
Right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely awesome. And I'm glad that she's showing the world she's more than just the Bird Lady.
Of course.
Exactly. We do have a bunch of comments that we need to get to. I will get to them. And I think somebody wants to join now. Somebody who is not here to defend himself in any way because he didn't hear any of it. Welcome, Becky Lynch, otherwise known as Matt Cascone.
The man, don't interrupt the man. The man has come around to the Market Down podcast. The right person won tonight. I'm still not on board with Lyra. I think she's great, but this whole bird lady gimmick doesn't do it for me.
Literally the opposite of what I just said. Guys, I'm so glad she's no longer just the bird lady. Matt immediately comes in. Yeah, this bird lady gimmick just isn't working for me.
Well, until she flies to the ring, I'm not going to buy it.
Wait till next WrestleMania, okay? Give it time. You build to that.
Actually, might be a good entrance idea in the future.
I mean, she's just got to beat out Shawn Michaels. I mean, that's going to be hard. I mean, going like this, like on a rope and like just gliding down to the ring. I mean, after, like RIP Owen Hart, I feel like they're going to be very, very conscious about doing any kind of like, like they got to hire Tom Cruise and like have just Tom Cruise should just be on all these things and be like, yeah, I would do this and be like, okay, let's do that, but like dial it back.
I feel
Logan
like
Paul did an entrance like that last year.
Much. I feel like we are obligated to correct you on the fact that Logan Paul just did this.
Mm-hmm. He went from like APK style.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't as good though. It was
just
Logan Paul, after all.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't as good because it was Logan Paul, but like it's still Lyra can do it, and she's a bird, so it, everything will be fine, and it'll look cooler because it's fitting.
Okay, I got deep.
James, get control of the show. What are you?
I'm not rev, man. I'm not built for this.
I want to see Matt's thoughts on the IC Championship match since we kind of started it, but we could see what he has to say now that he's joined us.
No, I think you guys covered it. I thought they were going to extend this rivalry, like maybe Becky would have won the second match between the two of them, and then the third match, the blow-off match, would be at SummerSlam. Obviously, that didn't happen, but who knows? Maybe the blow-off match still is at SummerSlam. Who's to say? But yeah, no, I don't have much to say. You guys pretty much covered it.
Becky's undefeated at Evolution. Let's go.
Yeah, 2-0.
A show she didn't even want to exist in the first place. So, God bless. And to go off of your joking Becky Hogan comment, let's just acknowledge the fact that there was a beautiful moment on screen where this fan was so passionate about trying to give Becky a friendship bracelet. And then right behind that fan, somebody was holding a massive Becky Hogan sign. And wow. I think that perfectly epitomizes the dichotomy of how people view this person.
I mean, imagine paying like $5,000 to be an idiot. Like, that's crazy. He paid so much money for that, and like
he needed people to know his stance on certain professional wrestlers, and he or she or they don't have the platform that we have here, where we're reaching out to dozens and dozens of homes across the world.
What dozens?
And dozens.
Thank you.
All right, let's go into the comments real quick. First of all, saying hi to our friend of the pod, Fernando. What up, Fernando? Thank you for being here. We agree with you. Evolution was caliente. It was fire tonight. Maria, we already said hi to, but I'm going to hit your a comment that we missed.
Hi, Maria.
Maria saying Lyra should have won. Maria still believes Becky doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship. She belongs in the main event scene. I agree with you that Becky doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship, but the Intercontinental Championship is absolutely benefiting from being with Becky Lynch. She is legitimizing that belt that, as much as we all, especially somebody right below me, loves the U.S. championship and someone who is holding that title, it doesn't feel like it's quite on the same level yet, and I think it needs a main eventer to win that belt to sort of legitimize it the same way Becky did with the IC.
Well, because they took it off of Chelsea, that's why. Like, don't get me started on that.
No, Chelsea was American title.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, that's what he's saying, that Chelsea should have been enough to legitimize the title, but she didn't have enough time with it. Moving on. Eric saying Bayley's going to be great in AEW. Completely agree. That's why I'm very glad she didn't win this title tonight, because Pam is just going to kill it in AEW.
Bailey versus Statlander. Oh, that's amazing.
The Seinfeld references would be amazing. Ham.
For everybody who gets it, I agree.
What's Seinfeld?
Fernando saying that he highly doubts Evolution is going to be better than SummerSlam. I will say this, Fernando. I think SummerSlam. Yes, tag team superstar jelly roll.
Enjoy 15 minutes of nothing between matches. I want to get a real quick point across. One other reason this pay-per-view was so good is because this wasn't how WWE normally structures their pay-per-views now, where it's 15 minutes of bullshit the first match, 15 minutes of bullshit and advertisements the second match. This was just match. 7-match card, way better. So that's why SummerSlam is going to be worse, because it's going to be a drag to watch, because it's going to go right back to here's 5 minutes of ads, here's 5 minutes of celebrities in the crowd, here's a promo that doesn't really help the show. It's going to be a drag in comparison to this, which was the smoothest pay-per-view WWE's put on all year.
I completely agree. It's almost like when you let the show be the show, it could be a good show.
Like, we need stories. We need more build.
Less ads.
Straight up wrestling.
Clean it up. Mr. Penguin, what's up, dude? Been a while. I hope you're doing well. Bird Lady Lyra. Damn it, Mr. Penguin. Damn it, man.
No, she's still Bird Lady. She's just great, and everyone's starting to realize it. There's nothing wrong with being Bird Lady.
Yeah.
Eric just speaking nonsense. I can't even read it. It just looks like gibberish on my screen. Nope, we're just passing it over, Matt. It's not important. Maria saying they would love to see Bailey in AEW. I think overall most people agree with that notion. So, I mean, raise your hand if you agree, because I do.
Just get a new finisher at the very least. Like, she knows it's a bad finisher. She knows it. She stated. And it's like, okay, make yourself a new finisher.
Like mid-Carter, unfortunately, but maybe she'll get elevated if she goes to AEW, perhaps. But let's see.
We could hope. I don't know what Eric's saying. Mr. Penguin saying that's not Matt, that's Becky. You just paid him a very high compliment. Eric saying someone said he looks like Tom Cruise today. God bless you, buddy.
Matt's here.
Matt, when did you get here, man?
Oh, I was just passing through.
It's funny because Mr. Penguin is bringing up El Grande Americano, and quite frankly, I mean, I've never seen Matt and Becky in the same place at the same time, just like I've never seen El Grande Americano and anyone else in the same place.
I could totally be El Grande Americano. You never know.
Right, and apparently.
I missed that. Matt dressed something. I dressed. You're right. I did wear clothes.
I got to tell you, Matt, before you got here, Dash was really paying you high compliments about your wrestling cosplay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First head. Love to see it.
Thanks. We got something coming up for, if anyone out there is going to be at WWE night for the Mets on July 21st. I will be there, and I will be in a new cosplay. So
they have a hard enough time getting people into Citi Field. So sorry, Matt.
At least we have WWE night.
Yeah, we have fun at our stadium.
We had Mike Santana and the Hardys. No, we didn't even
have the Hardys. What are you talking about?
You didn't get anything at Yankees.
No, we did have Mike Santana. We did.
You guys have no fun.
Well, because he lives in the Bronx. Of course, he's going to show up to a Yankees.
Oh yeah, because the Hardys live in Queens. Anyway.
Yeah, they made a trip out to Queens. They wouldn't make a trip out to
Queens.
I'm sorry, Dash. This is very personal. Okay, James has bad opinions, and we have to let him know sometimes.
I am a human being. I am allowed to live. So let me live. Let me live. Becky versus AJ Lee, SummerSlam. Let me dream. I gotta tell you. I'm not saying you're one of these people, Mr. Penguin, but if you are somebody whose value of the show was in any way diminished by AJ not being there tonight, guys, we got
Saraya.
Or Saraya felt like it was possible. Saraya felt like we were gonna get it, but I am not my enjoyment was not diminished by the lack of Saraya or AJ or even the Iconics, who I was kind of expecting to show up. But,
did we get a surprise? Because I would. The survey says I was at dinner, so I didn't see the entire show. Was there a surprise? Was there a debut?
There was a huge return. There was a huge return.
Okay, you'll get to it.
Vicky Guerrero.
But that was they already said
I was kidding. I was kidding. I was kidding.
Oh my God, they hyped like the booze lower. It was kind
of. I don't know who in 2025 is asking this.
Annoying and loud.
Yeah.
Bro, if it was 10 years ago, I would say if Dom was in the position he is right now, like he could do something with Vicky Guerrero. Like she was the cougar. Like
no, she is first of all ill. Second of all,
exactly,
she is a bad enough mother to her own children. I don't need to see her in any way be involved in a mommy storyline with Dominic. So I'm good. I'm good. Mr. Penguin saying we all salute Chelsea Green in my house, including his abuela. You know, fair enough. Matt agrees with you. I mean, I do too. I love Chelsea, but
besides Vicky, you know, Jazz was in the crowd. Jacqueline, Tori Wilson, Maurice, Melina was there too. I was super happy to see her.
Super happy to see Melina.
Not sure if I'm missing anyone, but
Ivory was there. Medusa was there. What?
Michelle McCool, was she there?
No, apparently she didn't get a phone call, according to her.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's like, girl, pick up the phone, call them. Be like,
she stole Mickey James's job. She doesn't need to make any.
Yeah, I feel a little sympathy for Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, if you want to be on the card and you're not getting the phone call, you call up the office and be like, "I'm not on the card. What the fuck? Who was that guy on the trampoline? I'm not booked."
I would rather see Layla. Mr. Penguin saying,
honestly, I'd rather see Layla.
I like Lyra. Well, she's awesome. Dev, welcome back. Remember when they changed Bailey's theme? I liked how it played tonight. I don't know if this is how her theme has been for a while, but I liked it tonight.
I feel like Def Rebel is switching it up a bit, things we don't notice, because sometimes I'm just really confused with her theme song overall.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of Def Rebel songs in general, but honestly, not all their songs are bad. Like they do have a couple bangers, but it's really like a 1-to-3 ratio. Like
like Fatal Influences theme. Oh, Chef's Kiss.
Yes. Dominic has a great one. Braun Breaker, but even Braun Breaker, it took them 2 tries before they got to this really good one. So that speaks for itself. It took you 3 tries to get a good song.
Yeah.
Eric saying Mr. Met won't be there because he's injured after falling 47 times on stage.
He's a trooper. That's fine. He works injured. He always bounces back.
Mr.
Yankees don't even have a mascot, so they're no fun.
Anyway, Mr. Penguin saying that he enjoyed Evolution tonight. It was awesome. He still wants Paige and AJ Lee back one day. I would be happy to see him, but I don't need him.
Sure.
I don't need him.
We did enough for the division, in my opinion. But if they come back, I'll be eternally grateful.
I think it's badass that AJ's never come back. I would love for her to never wrestle again and to just be a legend for what she has already done and for not coming back. Everybody comes back. Someone needs to be the one to not come back. And I would love if it was AJ.
Just do the one little skip one more time. That'd be epic.
She could do it at the Hall of Fame. She could do it, like to be honored. But I kind of agree. I don't necessarily ever need her to wrestle again. It'd be cool if she does, but I think there is something, like Danny's saying, to the mystique of never showing up again.
Like, I love Sting was my favorite wrestler as a child. I kind of wish he never went to WWE.
Because it went badly. You always wonder what would be, but then if it happens and it turns badly, then you're like, I wish it never happened. It's like, well, duh.
Well, no, I also just wish it never happened because he, stood on business and was like, no, I'm not going to WWE. I'm going to go to this shitty little company, TNA, and make it amazing, for years. And then he's like, all right, I'll take the big paycheck and go, which is fine. But, they always kind of botch it. Like, the big returns are usually fine at best.
It's Christian.
That's a great pull.
I mean, everyone wishes they could get the Goldberg rub, you know, like I don't know how that works, but
I don't want to rub anything on Goldberg. But Mr. Penguin saying Vicky is the OG Karen. I can't prove that she didn't start that haircut. Like, I'm sure somebody beat her to it, but I associate the Karen cut with Vicky.
Let me speak to the manager haircut.
Absolutely.
it
Eric
was Kate plus 8. She was the one who had the haircut before Vicky. She definitely. Come on,
Huh.
TLC.
No, I know it. I know it. You ain't wrong.
Yeah, just wasn't expecting you to drop that TLC lore on us, but
Eric saying she stole Undertaker's co-host job too. I saw that with the podcast in Charlotte. Mr. Penguin saying they ruined AJ Styles' theme song. Good thing we got his old one back.
Oh,
I agree.
oh my God.
I swear to you, I did not write this comment. I don't know who this James is, but he agrees it's Matt's fault.
Sure, you don't know.
My hands were here at all times. Something I shouldn't have to say on camera. Moving on, because we spent a lot of time talking about one match.
I wanted to get through. I wanted to jump on like halfway through the show, and I've definitely like jumped in.
You pointed at me. NXT Women's Championship. No, we're doing the main event. We're doing it fucking live. We had the Women's World Championship on the line as Io Shirai, the champion, defended against the former champion, Rhea Ripley. Guys, not to be corny, not to steal somebody else's gimmick, but just wow. It was absolutely amazing. Yep.
Just wow, he has arm hair he's pointing at.
All right. Again with the racism. I'm sorry I'm Italian. I'm sorry I'm Brazilian. We're a hairy people. It's not my fault, okay?
I'm Italian too.
This match was, as the kids say, off the hook. Or the chain, or whatever. It was off something. And I had high expectations going into it, knowing the quality of talent involved in this match. We've seen Io and Rhea go at it in multiple different forms, whether it was one-on-one or multi-person matches or whatever it may be, and they've always delivered. So, shocker to everyone, they did it again tonight. There was some truly epic spots. I loved the shift in the match. As you could tell, the first part of the match, the first little segment of the match, I don't want to say they were feeling each other out, but they were definitely doing sort of the fighter's dance, where it was like, I'm going to see what you're bringing out to me. I'm not going to go 100%. I'm not going to go full throttle. And then they just stood face to face. They both expressed their respect for one another, and Rhea said, let's just fight. And boy, Evolution, girl, did they fight. Whether it was in the ring, around the ring, in the crowd, with a referee present or not, they went to war. They went to absolute war with one another. There were so many cool spots. It's hard for me to focus on any of them, whether it was Io's incredible 20-foot dive from the crowd onto Rhea, onto the floor, which I don't know how her knees are still existent after that.
That crossbody was crazy. I thought that Rhea was gonna land to like her super power bomb, but woo.
Rhea doing an epic power bomb, hitting the razor's edge into a power bomb. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That was so cool. At one point, the referee was knocked out for a significant amount of time, an almost comical amount of time. But it helped them fight onto the outside in the crowd and throughout everything. Rhea getting the shot, hitting the riptide, getting the 7 count before realizing that the ref wasn't there. Both women going back and forth. Io hitting her moonsault, or her over the moonsault onto Rhea, not getting the 3, even though the ref was there. That was bonkers. That was Teddy bonkers. Both women absolutely giving 100% of themselves. And it wasn't all, because guys, there was somebody else, somebody who had wrestled earlier in the night, and we will talk about it. Naomi, Miss Money in the Bank, came out mid-match and made this a triple threat match. She comes in. The match is made official. She hits Io with the briefcase. She disposes of Rhea. She hits her finish, her split-legged moonsault onto Io. 1, 2, 3. New Women's World Champion. Incredible match. Incredible surprise. Just wow. Just wow. I know we'll probably all have something to talk about it, but we're going to send it to our special guest. We are going to send it to Dash first. Dash, what did you think of this match? Won the match itself, to the cash-in. Are you happy? Are you excited? What do you think?
Well, Rhea and Io are two of my favorites. They are always killing it in the ring. Their chemistry is like absolutely chef's kiss. Honestly, this match is like one of those reasons that Evolution should just be an annual pay-per-view, because they really gave it their all. And honestly, I was not expecting Naomi to cash in tonight. I really thought that like she would cash in on Jade. If Jade wins it, like I don't know what I thought was going to happen for SummerSlam. But honestly, Naomi deserved this. Like, even though she lost to Jade, she won the championship. And I'm just like so excited to see how that's going to play out. I just want to talk about her gear, like the caution tape, the razor blades. Like, she just looks so good. And honestly, she's like championship material. But, you know, Io and Rhea, their match was so heavy hitting. I honestly thought that Rhea was going to win. But I was wrong, honestly. I mean, I had no idea who was going to win, because Io hasn't really been defending her title. So I was like, is her first title defense going to be like a L, or I don't know. Honestly, I was not expecting this. So I was just super happy. And yeah, that diving crossbody 20 feet on the equipment crates was insane. Like, that was one of my favorite spots in the match. And that Razor's Edge, oh my God. And then Naomi coming down, it was just too good. Like, it was more than I expected, which is awesome, you know.
You spoke about her look. I loved, and I think this is going to speak to Matt, especially with what he's wearing. I loved the bloody nose, the blood coming down her face a little bit. I really thought it sold it. I really thought that made it just look so much more epic. Matt, I know that, like you said, you couldn't watch the whole show, but I know you did watch this match. I know you watched the main event. What did you think of it? Were you rooting for either Rhea or Io? Did the match live up to expectations? And what did you think of the cash-in?
I think the match was great, really great, and it felt like it was going long, and not in a bad way. It was just like, oh wow, they're giving them a lot of time, which is cool, and they were making the most of it with the stuff going to the crowd. And that's when I was like coming back. I'm like, how is this going to end? Because the whole time I was thinking, oh well, Rhea's got to win. Like, you know, she's the she really is the most popular woman on the roster right now, and she hasn't had the title for a while, and Io's had like a pretty solid, you know, title run, and the fact that they kept bringing it home, the fact that surprisingly, like, you know, just from the circumstances that Io has always beaten Rhea one-on-one. Rhea's never beaten her. So it felt like that was where they were going with, like, oh, this is Rhea's night. She's back on top. She's finally beaten Io. And Io, yes, mommy's always on top. Thank you, Dash. But it's like, okay, and Io also had like a solid title run. So there's like, you know, there's nothing to be mad about or anything like that. And then throwing Naomi in, I have mixed feelings about it, because it's funny, like when she, like I was saying, like after Mania, when we thought we were getting like a draft, I was like, bro, put Naomi on Raw. I think her and Io could really do like some great work together. And I was just also really surprised because she has this history with Jade, and it feels like Jade, whether she wins the title or not, she's going to be in the title picture. So why not, like, you know, work off of that? And then she's also got history with Tiffany. They've traded wins back and forth. So I really thought that's what they were going with. We'll see. I wouldn't have chosen to do what they did. And what do we got here?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Good stuff from the internet, as always. You can always rely on the internet. I mean, we'll see going forward how it plays out, like how this title run goes, whether it's successful or not. I would say, even though she cashed in on the opposite title I would go for, it's something different. I always like going with something different. and she is a champion, which I've been very adamant since WrestleMania that I think she's done a great job with this heel turn. And even her match, I didn't see the match with Jade tonight, but the one at Mania I think was really, really, really solid. Hopefully tonight's match was as well. But regardless, Naomi's champion. I love it. Also, I love the gear, the warning gear, fantastic. I love Owen Hart, but that was never a look I liked on him. He had the warning gear, and I always just thought looked kind of cheesy. It does not look cheesy on Naomi. Respect to the OGs, but Naomi has definitely kicked it up a notch in the wardrobe game, in my opinion.
Matt with 2 Owen Hart references in one review.
I was gonna say. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love Owen.
Respectfully.
Sure.
Matt, you brought up a good point that you thought, like you said around after Mania, that you would have put Naomi on Raw. Danny, what do you think about the cross-brand passion? I love it. I love when I see it. It shouldn't be done all the time, but when it's done, I think it's great. What about
should always be an option.
Yeah, what do you mean it shouldn't be done? Why not all the time? Anyway, I love the cross-brand cash-in. I think this was... I don't want to use a word like perfect, but like I think this was almost pretty much perfect at what it set out to do, because this does a lot of things. One, a cross-branded cash-in is always exciting because you don't expect it, even though we should expect it. They've pretty much become so lazy with cash-ins that they're not going to put any effort into switching brands. So did not see that coming on a night where this is WWE. They are not good at being patient with cash-ins, so we should have really expected an attempt at least, but they did a good job tonight of not making us think this would happen. So this does a lot of good things. It keeps Rhea from being champion a little bit longer. She's the other Hogan in the division that's getting shit for that, so you hold that off to shut those people up for a little bit, even though she's the biggest star in the division. The 2 Hogans are the 2 biggest stars in the division. Go figure. But yeah, it's weird how that works. But it also freshens up Naomi to so many more things. Yes, obviously, I think everyone and their mother thought that she was going to cash in after the Jade Tiffany match at SummerSlam, because why wouldn't she? It makes sense storyline wise, but it was almost so telegraphed that doing this is so much more exciting, especially because, and we'll talk about the match itself, but I was not excited to see another Jade and Naomi match because it just felt like they were done with each other for now, and the cash-in would have been what brought them back together. So I'm like, okay, well now if Naomi cashes in on Jade, I don't want to see that match again right away after this. I want some space between them. And this gives plenty of space. They might both be champion at the same time come the end of SummerSlam. And that's something I don't think anyone would have guessed going in. I think people thought, one would win the title and the other, and Naomi cashes in. But I also think this helps refresh Naomi, because Naomi has done such good work with the heel turn. But I don't know about you guys, but personally, I feel like since Mania, she's become a little bit flanderized, and it's like a one-note thing. And now this feels like, okay, we're going back to put in more focus on Naomi. She's not just the one-note character she's been post-Mania. She's going to go back to being the more complex character she was in the build-up to Mania. And that's so much more exciting. She's been back for a while. We haven't seen her interact with Theo. We haven't seen her interact with Rhea. It's more exciting. The mid-card Raw's women's division is kind of going to be insane now with Naomi over there. It already was I would say it was the stronger of the women's division, but now we have, it's going to be Stephanie Vaquer versus Naomi at Clash in Paris. That's kind of, who would have guessed going into this show that was going to be the match, we got going in. So I think this cash-in was borderline perfect. And the match before the cash-in, unbelievable. They had something to prove here, because we know Rhea and Io are great, and we know they have great chemistry, but everyone going into the show, rightfully so, was like, why is this the main event? It has no build. It's the build to the title matches outside of the Intercontinental title were pretty bad.
Yeah.
So fans were rightfully pointing that out. So Io and Rhea were like, all right, well, we're going to make you fucking understand why we're the main event. And they went insane. So hats off to everyone involved. Hats off to Rhea, Io, Naomi. Now I'm interested. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next on Raw. Raw's where it's at for women's wrestling right now. You got to get genuinely stacked.
100% invested. It was really cool to see Naomi with Rhea and Io, because usually we're just thinking, just the beef with Bianca or, Jade. So it's really cool to see that happen.
Yeah.
And let's all give it to Seth Rollins for nobly sacrificing his body to make sure that there would be a cool cash-in on the Raw side of things. Really opening the door for Naomi here. Really appreciate it.
It's funny. I was thinking that maybe we might have an Evolution cash-in, not because it's Evolution, but I was like, they can't both do a cash-in at SummerSlam, right? Because I felt like that's what we were leading up to. Yeah. And it's interesting. You talked about Naomi being Flanderized, and I get that comment. I don't know if I necessarily agree. I said it on our Instagram page. She's hit her Disney villain arc, with the maniacal laugh. But it honestly, I feel like it was working for her. You didn't have to like it. For me, it was working, and I just can't wait to see what she does next with the championship.
I disagree with you. He has to like it. He just has to. I just want to go into what Danny was saying about how it was sort of telegraphed with her cashing in. Commentary themselves said tonight multiple times, the person she could cash in on right now is Tiffany Stratton. They never even acknowledged the possibility of her cashing in on the Raw side. They actively were promoting the concept of she is going to cash in on the SmackDown side. And I loved that attention to the concept, that it just really did help sell this shock, this surprise. So well done on this really well handled cash in my opinion.
Also, to be fair, Naomi had been trying to cash in on Tiffany multiple times and said Tiffany, I'm going to cash in on you. Again, I love a cross brand cash in. It only annoys me the years when they've completely ignored it, where it's he has the right to cash in on this champion. And I'm not talking about the blue and the red briefcases. I'm talking about the green briefcases. There were years where they're oh yeah, I only am going to consider cashing in on one person. It's bro, you can go either way, right?
Very
even if you're not going to do it, just pretend.
That's also the other reason I think Naomi was a bit Flanderized, because the attempted Money in the Bank cash-ins are so played out and one note and bad. I'm so sick of the worded cash-ins. Have some patience, pick a moment. Don't just be oh my God, there's a champion out there. Let me run out with my briefcase. That's a huge pet peeve of mine when Money in the Bank, and especially with how I think most fans don't think Triple H has done a good job with his Money in the Bank winners so far. But, that's a whole nother conversation for a lesser pay-per-view than this one. But, ultimately hit it out of the park with this one. I think this is better than the alternative of the SummerSlam cash-in.
I'd agree.
That's so money.
I'd agree. Moving on to backwards. Second match of the night, as we had the NXT Women's Championship on the line, as Jacy Jayne, who was accompanied by Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, took on Jordynne Grace, who was accompanied by Blake Monroe, not Mariah May, because there's nothing in common between those two women.
One is really into lesbian stuff. The other one is probably TVPG, as far as I know.
I don't know what those letters stand for. I don't want to ask.
There's no way of knowing.
I want to stay monetized.
Sorry.
Anyway, this was the match that...
Are you not allowed to say the L word to stay monetized?
That was... What? Lesbian was not the problem. I didn't want to know what the letters stood for.
I said TVPG.
Oh, I did not hear that. Okay.
I thought you were doing a bit. I thought
we were
doing a bit, James.
We were making the jokes that Mariah May, what Mariah May does, she'll never get to do in
Anyway, I'm sorry. I think I speak for all of us when I say that sometimes we got to be prepared for what Matt can say. Stop throwing to me.
I don't think Matt's ever said anything questionable at all.
Ever in his life.
Yeah.
I'm glad Naomi's. Oh, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna even say it.
Do you see? Do you see?
I stopped myself.
Anyway, I don't even know where that could have gone.
I'll put it in the private chat. It's something I've said before. It's fine, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to get attacked.
NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne took on Jordan Grace. There were a lot of implications with this matchup. I think a lot of people, for those who aren't keeping up with TNA, the winner of this match, whoever would become NXT Women's Champion coming out of this match, is going to go to Slammiversary next week, TNA's big pay-per-view, one of TNA's big pay-per-views of the year, and it's going to be champion versus champion, belt for belt, where the NXT Women's Championship would be going on the line with the TNA Knockouts Championship. In this instance, Masha Slamovich. So this was one of those matches that if you're a TNA fan, you're definitely keeping your eye to it. A lot of speculation whether or not we were going to get the Jordan Grace Masha rematch. I kind of figured we weren't going to get there, but we'll talk about it briefly. The big story going into this match, besides that, I'm not going to acknowledge it. The big story going into this match, besides who would be champion for Slammiversary, was this new budding friendship between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe, who since coming to NXT and since coming to WWE has been slightly selective in the company she keeps. I think that's fair to say. You know, she made a big splash in her debut, kind of made her intentions clear on what she wants. And this friendship with Jordan kind of came as a surprise to a lot of people. The match itself was, to me, this is just my opinion, and this is where I have the most skin in the game, considering the TNA connection. The match itself was fine. I think it's probably the only match of the night that was sort of didn't live up to the expectations that the rest of the show set up. But it was still a good matchup. Jacy Jayne absolutely making the most of this NXT title run after having won the title from Stephanie McCarr. And we saw a lot of interference at play here. Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix definitely made their presence felt at multiple points, complicating Jordan's life immensely. Initially, we thought we were getting some support from Blake, who took out initially Fallon Henley, who had set up the championship belt in the ring. After it had gotten tossed out of the ring, Jasmine Nix had picked it up, and Blake goes and just takes her out, absolute throttle with the clothesline. She picks up the belt, and to everyone's surprise and to Michael Cole's confusion, betrayed Jordan, hitting her in the back with the belt, setting up Jacy Jayne to hit a massive right hand or right forearm to Jordan, busted her up, gave her a bloody nose, and Jacy Jayne retained the NXT Women's Championship. I think I speak for everyone when I say, obviously, there was going to be a betrayal. It's kind of who she is as a person on a cellular level. This is who she is. That being Blake Monroe. Like I said, I enjoyed the match for what it was. Telegraphed betrayal is telegraphed, but it's still serving a purpose. They very clearly don't want to put the title on Jordan quite yet, and this is a believable way to keep it off of her. And it's setting up Blake to be who we all know she is. We got past the excitement of her coming to NXT. There you go. Blake Monroe to Jordan Grace at the end of WWE Great American Bash today. This was yesterday.
Wrong. But
Absolute cinema.
Yeah. Matt, did you watch this one, or did you catch up a little later?
I missed this one, so it's news to me. All I'll say is that I thought that Jacy Jayne was a transitional champion. Perhaps she is proving otherwise. The only complaint I'll have about her championship run so far, and it's not even her fault, is the fact that Gigi Dolan got fired before she became champion. I mean, that's like a match. They have history. That's a match that people, I feel like, that are big into NXT would want to see. So it's a shame that they can't have that. And we'll see what happens at Slammiversary. We will be there. We have tickets. We're planning on going. So that's all I got to say.
Dash, what did you think of the match? Were you surprised by the betrayal? Did you enjoy the matchup? What are your thoughts?
I feel like the match was pretty solid. You know, Jane came out. She looked amazing with Fatal Influence. And so did Jordan. I really liked her gear. She had like a blue and yellow moment. And of course, as you guys know, Blake Monroe joined her coming out. But Grace started out the match hot. She was doing suplexes, suicide dives. Like, she was on it. Like, I almost thought that she was going to like win the title. But, you know, throughout the match, you know, she started getting, I guess, beat up a lot. And yeah, the turn at the end honestly did not surprise me, but honestly, I wouldn't say it was like too boring. The crowd was still pretty much invested. I feel like Atlanta really did their thing tonight in making like all the women's matches feel like they're pretty epic. But even though I saw the turn from like a mile away, I'm excited to see the Monroe and Grace feud in the works because, you know, we love a good betrayal story between the ladies. And who knows, maybe she might be joining Fatal. Who knows, but, you know.
They did tease something there at the end as she handed the belt to JC after having used it to take out Jordan. At the very least, I think there might be an uneasy alliance there. Who knows?
Right. She might be joining too, so hey.
Exactly. Yeah, once a snake, always a snake. But I agree with you. I am excited for this feud between Jordan and Blake. I think it's so weird to say Blake.
She's still Mariah to me sometimes.
Still Mariah. She still is. But I'm doing
Blake's got a new name. Blake's got a new name.
I don't know the reference. What's the reference?
It's Blake's got a new face, and it's a song from Vampire Weekend.
All right, fair enough. Music is not my thing. I am a bit of a
Vampire Weekend.
There you go.
Yeah, what a pull by Matt. Great, good shit.
All right, so all three of you hate me and are embarrassing me. I appreciate it.
We'll take you see Vampire.
No, we're embarrassed by you, James. Don't
they're
worry.
playing in September in like Connecticut or something, and we'll take you. Don't worry. We'll get you on top of all the references.
Much appreciated, bro. Thank you. Danny, what did you think of all this?
Well, I think Oxford Comma is a really good song, and A-Punk is also, you know, just super catchy and a great song.
Can't forget the song Cousins.
Yeah, exactly. Does that answer your question, James, or did I mishear you?
This is on me. This is my fault. It's not yours. I did this. What did you think of the matchup? And
Yeah, of course. I do agree with you that I think this was the weakest match on the show, but the show was really strong, so it's not like too much of a slight against this match. It's more like, and I agree with what Dash said about the crowd showing up, and I think if they put this match in the right spot for the crowd to still be buzzed and hyped enough to give it respect, like they didn't put it in a dead spot, which could have been an obstacle this match wouldn't be able to overcome if it was like, you know, the match before the main event, let's say. You know, so I think it was in the perfect spot to succeed. I'm struggling with Blake. It's a little tough. It's not like I'm happy for her, but I'm looking past her NXT run and I'm just waiting for her to shine on the main roster. And that's a me thing. I do overlook NXT a lot because it's my least favorite of the weekly wrestling shows to watch. Actually, no, it's not true. SmackDown's my least favorite. I'd rather watch NXT than SmackDown, but especially for the women's division. So, you know, it's a little more exciting. But like a Jordan Grace Blake Monroe match is going to be so good. Like that's what I'd tune in for. You know, that's what I'd make it a point to go out of my way to see. And NXT, same thing I said about men's wrestling earlier. I don't care about any men's wrestling in NXT. So like, if I'm going to watch NXT, it's for the women's division. But
I will not stand for the Obafemi slander.
Right.
Obafemi is great, but who does he have to dance with? You know,
That
he's
Japanese
another
guy, apparently.
Bring him up, and let him dominate. Like, come on, like let's.
Hello.
That dude will be WWE champion by 2026. But it's about the women's show, James. So we're not talking about Obafemi. So please, let's get back on track. Jordan Grace is great. I have no idea what her trajectory is going to be like in NXT. Like, is she going to be in there for the long term, or is she going to be called up because she has a lot more exposure to the main roster audience than honestly some of the NXT people, because she's been in multiple Rumbles. So I'm here for this feud. I'm excited for future Blake prospects more so than current ones. But like I said, a Jordan Grace Blake Monroe match sounds amazing to me, so I'll be on board for that.
I agree.
I got a thought, and then I unfortunately have to go. My thought is Jordan Grace beats Blake Monroe in whatever match they have or feud, whatever. Masha beats JC Jane to become double champ, and then Jordan Grace has to have a rematch with Masha, and it's only for the one title, and Jordan Grace gets the NXT title from Masha.
I strongly agree. I think that's been the writing on the wall for a little bit now in terms of the trajectory of the titles. And I'm for it. Masha beat Jordan for the Knockouts title. So this is just Jordan getting her win back, which she doesn't need, but she's going to get her win back. And it's going to be an exciting matchup because they all have been between the two. So I'm right there with you, Matt. Good call. Good guess. And time will tell if we're right about that one.
But before you go, Matt, can you just put on the wig one more time?
Give me a second. I really need to buy a new one. This one's like getting pretty ratty, and like I tried to comb it, but it ain't happening. But
Try using Head and Shoulders.
yes, on a wig. I'm sure that'll go over great. All right, are you happy?
You look gorgeous, buddy.
All right, thanks. Dash, thank you so much for joining us. I will see you all soon. Like I said, new cosplay for the Mets game on July 21st. Woo. It's the same night as the Happy Gilmore 2 premiere. I don't know what is going on in New York with all these counter bookings with wrestling that also seem to involve baseball. Guys, there's plenty of days in the week. We can all go to multiple events. Why are there 6 events and I can only go to 3?
What a hard life you lead.
Yeah, in this
these are the true hardships that we face. Matt, have a great night. We'll catch you later, pal.
Yep.
Oh my God, that is way too close to see my face, especially with how peely I am right now. We have a bunch of comments that we got to get through, so I'll do my best to speed through them. Maria's saying that she's mixed about this cash-in with Naomi cashing in on Jade after beating Tiffany. Cashing in on Jade after beating Tiffany would have been better. I think I agree with Danny, though, Maria, that this kind of adds a surprise element that none of us were expecting. And that's surprises, when done right, are always a good thing in professional wrestling. So I respect your opinion, though.
Also, anything for me to not pay attention to SmackDown, honestly. So bring Naomi over to Raw.
Fair enough.
Yeah, SmackDown is a rough watch.
At least we're back down to 2 hours, right?
That's true.
Small victories. Sorry if you're a tag team on SmackDown. Maria saying that she doesn't like this JC Jane. She doesn't like this. JC Jane is not NXT championship material. Jordan Grace should have won. She knew WWE was going to mess around with the aura of Jordan Grace. That is one thing I do agree with. I feel like Jordan came into WWE and NXT with just so much heat. She was coming in so hot, and I feel like they've stymied that a little bit. I feel like that we've unfortunately lost a little bit, as Maria said, the aura. Granted, I am on the side with Danny that it is just NXT. I feel like what's going to matter more is how she's treated on the main roster. This is just, sort of a warm-up. And because look on the flip side of it, Julia was so hot in NXT. And, I mean, granted, she's the U.S. champion on SmackDown right now. That's great. But she just doesn't have that aura that she had in NXT. So, NXT...
actually, if I could push back on that a little bit.
Please.
I hate Triple H. So let me just start off with that. But I think he has put in way more stock into Julia than Sean did. Sean was like, okay, here, come in. Here's the title. Immediately took it off her. I was like, we're moving on. We're all about Stephanie Vaquer. And I think Triple H is actually trying to rehabilitate her because I think she cooled off massively in NXT, not when she came up to the main roster.
I think her awkwardly losing the title, or was she stripped of the? No, she wasn't stripped of the title.
She just lost to Stephanie
for a bit,
Yeah.
and then she came back to the main roster. But
Yes.
the
Yeah,
incident
and then she turned heel randomly on the comeback to NXT. It was,
Yeah.
I think she was
It
in
was a
Japan
rough one.
for like a month. It was super fast.
Yeah.
yeah, she came back quick.
All in all, my point being, even though Danny was right with that correction, NXT isn't the. Thank you.
All right, produce the boy.
Totally professional setup we have here at the Market Down podcast.
100%.
My point being, NXT is not the end all be all when it comes to seeing how somebody is going to do in WWE. So just give it a little bit of time, have a little bit of patience.
I think Jordan Grace in NXT is a loser, but she's so likable that it's fine. Because I agree with what Maria said, that she's kind of lost that aura when she came in. It was like, oh shit, Jordan Grace is here. Where now I'm like, oh, you're literally just one of the girls now, and you're like, it's a little. And when I say loser, I mean like dorky, and I mean that mostly endearing. But like, I'm like, she went from being like cool to a little dorky, and that's fine because she's a very likable person.
Yeah,
and she's like really funny too. So like she will be fine no matter what. But I think once she comes to the main roster, her presentation is going to be right back to, that like Bobby Lashley style of like, I am just brolic and cool and I beat people up, and like she'll be fine. So like whatever happens here, Jordan Grace is going to be fine.
God, Jordan Grace being in the Hurt Syndicate would have been so cool. Eric saying, what an upgrade from AEW champion to TNA champion. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think he's talking about Blake. Eric's a little bit tribalist, and I understand, because it's fun sometimes. But, but I'm ignoring Blake's NXT run. She's going to be so great on the main roster. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be fantastic.
Fernando agrees with Maria that JC is trash. Bonk.
She's better. She's a better champ than Jinder.
Damn. Taking an L. Maria saying Fallon needs to go out on her own and feud with JC Jane for the NXT Championship. Give it time. Dev, if you do, tune in to Slammiversary next week. Eric saying Britt says she missed a flight to Atlanta.
Oh yeah, people were saying maybe Britt Baker might appear, but honestly, who knows? So much drama between her and Tony currently.
We would absolutely know if this woman was no longer with AEW. It would be one of the biggest stories for an hour and a half. So, no, she wasn't going to show up tonight. And I love Britt. I really do. But, no, this was not going to happen.
Yeah, Britt is a weird situation, and I'm sure one day we'll find out everything. I'm so grateful for what she did for AEW.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to pretend that she fits the current landscape of the division. And if she was to go to WWE, she'd have to eat a lot of crow because they're going to send her to NXT, especially after the comments she's made about NXT. So, she's in a weird spot. Hopefully one day everything's good. We find out, as much as she wants to divulge, and she can move on with her life. Regardless, she's also a successful dentist, so like,
absolutely,
she's
she
fine
can
no
quite
matter
literally never wrestle again, and she will be fine for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
But I hope she does wrestle again. I do miss Britt, and I agree with what you were saying about her. Black women were the star of this PLE. I'd agree, and it's really refreshing to see, and hopefully we see more of it moving forward. Mr. Penguin saying, need more of Jada Parker. Give it time. They're clearly invested in her, and she is living up to her end of things, I'd say. So, I'm with you there, Penguin.
Go Yankees.
Yes. Yes.
Slander off the screen.
Yes. Yes.
Look, I don't want to start making fun of our audience, but I will.
No,
okay?
no. It's me. It's not them. It's me. I hacked into them. It's not them. Please be nice.
Listen, guys, if you're gonna root for the Yankees, you might as well just say that you hate everybody in your life and you only care about money and success, and you don't care who you step on the way up, and that everyone besides you is lesser than, and that you're just a hateful, spiteful person in general. And like, you might as well work for a big corporation, soulless because that's what it is. It's a soulless corporation that has no identifying factors. This team literally strips away your identity. They don't let you have your name on your goddamn uniform. What kind of organization is that? Okay, dude, is that what you want to be a part of? Is that what you stand for, James? You stand for telling people they can't express themselves by growing out their hair or having their name on their jersey? Is that what you love? Aaron Judge dropping fly balls in center field in Game 5 of the World Series, where you paid over $1,000 for a ticket?
First of all, I did not. I have season tickets. Second of all, that was a fucking low blow, brother. That was a low. I didn't make those comments. They did. I take it back. That was so mean.
You're a dynasty. You are what you hate. You have become the New York Yankees.
Wow.
Remember, that was an insult, by the way. That's an insult.
I'm one of those rare cases. I love the Mets. I love the Yankees.
Okay. See, here's the fun thing. And Danny knows this about me. I don't hate the Mets. I actively root. I'm a Yankee fan through and through, but I root for the Mets.
Same.
But it does not matter.
That's how you have to be. Like, if you were shitty towards the Mets, you would just be a terrible person. But like, I'm not allowed to be nice towards the Yankees, and no person that's solely a Mets fan can be. Those are just the rules. Like, there are just teams I have to hate, and it's the Yankees, the Phillies, and the Braves. Like, I just have to hate them, and that's just how it is. Those are the rules. I can't like, if you're a Yankee fan but you also like the Mets, that's great. You love New York, and that's fine. You know,
Pretty much.
Yeah, like that's good. You know, that's good. But that would be like I don't have a perfect comparison now because now we also have a rich owner, so like it's more of a level playing field. But like, that would be like, I can't root for a billionaire. Like if I'm just like a normal person. But of course, you as a billionaire, if you were just mean to me for being poor, you're the douchebag. But if you should be like, oh yeah, you'll get yours one day. But I can't be like, yeah, go billionaires. That's how the relationship is between Mets and Yankee fans. I live in the Bronx too, so I've had to deal with this forever. But,
hey, Bronx life.
Yeah, just.
So I would just like to apologize to Dash out the gate because I definitely told her, hey, I don't think we're going to go much longer than an hour, and we have.
You lied. You knew we never do. I'm sorry, Dash, that he lied to you.
It wasn't a lie. It was optimistic. But anyway, let's move on. I will say, Mr. Penguin did bring up a great. Can I hear myself?
Probably producer boy probably had like 2 tabs pulled up.
Okay.
Oh my God, I haven't seen Thunder Rosa in so long.
She did wrestle. She did wrestle yesterday.
Yeah.
Time is a construct. She wrestled yesterday and she wrestled on Friday. But yeah, that word that keeps getting thrown around, aura, she has definitely lost it, unfortunately. I would love to see her, if she's leaving, which I think she might actually be better off leaving. I think TNA is the place for her. I think she would be such a grab for the Knockouts division, and she would dominate in that division, and she will remind people why she's so good, and then whether or not that led to her going to WWE or going back to AEW, I think just a change of scenery in some shape or form would be great for her. But time will tell on that one.
Exactly.
Go Yankees.
My hands were up, I swear.
I pulled it up because he said go Yankees with the MJF shrug. MJF, noted Met fan, by the way, so great job with that reference. CM Punk is now the Yankees. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. CM Punk is
No.
unfortunately the Yankees.
No. Please don't do this.
Maria made me laugh.
Yeah.
She's like, go Mets. Sorry. She's like, oh. she gets it, and then that's it for the comment.
Citi Field looks way nicer than Yankee Stadium.
Oh, that's what.
Citi Field
No matter what.
Yeah, I agree.
All Yankee fans, I think, can agree on that one, and that one's not not like Citi Field's the best baseball stadium, but like the Yankee Stadium's kind of like, oh really? Like I just you would expect more for such a storied like franchise. So like that's but like hey, Jim's at a way better baseball stadium than yesterday.
I didn't want to say it, but wow,
Arlington's amazing.
Globe Life Field is fantastic.
It is. No, I was there when it was Arlington, and it was the best baseball stadium I've ever been to. So then they just made it better. And I'm like, it's a fantastic stadium.
And it's attached to so much. It's attached to the outside. Sorry, tangent. There's a 7-Eleven that you could shop outside that you could bring the stuff into the arena. There are barbecue places attached to the arena that aren't in the arena. It's like, what are we doing here in New York? This is nonsense. We're better than this. What are we doing? But anyway,
we'll get back on track. Sorry, we're baseball guys, and baseball guys can drag on for a while. So what's next? The Battle Royal?
No, the women's tag team match, Fatal 4-Way, where the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez defended the titles against the makeshift team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and Sol Ruka and Zarya, and the recently reunited Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. I don't have a lot to say about the match, but I really did enjoy the match. I thought this did a great job of pushing a lot of narratives. Really, really enjoying the makeshift team of Charlotte and Alexa. I think it's giving them both something fresh to do and keeping them out of the world title division, which is, I think, something a lot of people are okay with. Sol Ruka and Zarya having a little bit of a misstep as Zarya went for a massive spear that was supposed to take out Alexa Bliss, but Charlotte made the save, and instead Zarya took out her maybe more than just a tag team partner, Sol Ruka. So we'll see how that goes. And the Kabuki Warriors are just awesome. There's not really much story to say there, but that was cool. And, of course, Judgment Day, we're seeing Raquel reluctantly, sort of be more and more accepting of Roxanne Perez, as Roxanne is filling in for the injured, and I really feel for you, injured Liv Morgan. So, Dash, what did you think of this matchup?
So Asuka's face paint always looks phenomenal. The fact that she does it herself, I love it. She looks epic. So Ruka and Zarya, they are such a great team. They look really good together. I mean,
they do.
So Ruka is kind of like the surfer girl, skater vibe, and then Zarya just kind of looks like, JoJo Siwa when she had the painting on her face. So sick. I really loved Charlotte's robe too. She takes up a lot after, her dad, but the lavender, she just always looks so good. And, she had received a massive pop, which is great because I feel like Charlotte's been getting a lot of heat from fans. And I feel like people need to remember that she's human also. So it was really nice to see her getting the love that she deserves. And of course, this is her second Evolution match. So, Oh, and I loved Roxanne and Raquel's gear. The blue kind of reminded me of like Metallica's Ride the Lightning album for some reason, like that bluish kind of hue. So, I mean, I always love the gears. That's like the first thing I see. And, Alexa Bliss looks amazing. She had like Wednesday kind of inspired gear, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, this match was pretty star-studded. I'd say it's a good match. I'm not going to say, I was wowed, but honestly, I thought that they would give it to Alexa and Charlotte, but it turns out that we had the ladies from Judgment Day retain, which is awesome because, like you said earlier, it's kind of like, kind of forming a little bond that maybe Liv might not like, maybe that'll form some jealousy there, and they could like, get things heated in Judgment Day for some like epic stuff in the future. But yeah, when Zarya speared Ruka by accident, I was like, uh-oh, hopefully they don't break that tag team up, so early. But it was pretty cool that Charlotte saved Bliss. But, Raquel came in dominating. She threw everyone out of the ring, retaining the title. She pretty much carried, but I also love Roxy too. I feel like she's super slept on sometimes. So it's good that, she has the opportunity to be one half and basically like, take over for Liv. I know that Liv was like a huge part of Evolution. So I feel like they did a pretty good job, like just trying to get everything, still okay. But yeah, I feel like their dynamic is pretty good right now. Like I'm kind of liking Roxanne and Raquel right now. It's like the Latina power is activating together. So they work really well together. But overall, I say this was a really good match. I definitely like this one better than the NXT Women's Championship. Like if I had to go from like least to favorite. But none of the matches were bad in my opinion. So, I was fairly impressed. Kabuki Warriors are gonna do their thing. I mean, honestly, I wanted them to win as well, but knowing Triple H, I don't know if they'll ever get a victory together,
That's so sad.
I know. But not too bad. I'm kind of glad they retained because, they need that. It will further the story so that when Liv does return, hopefully, I guess in a year or so, maybe they have some story built up of her feeling replaced or something like that.
That's why I really liked Raquel and Roxanne winning, because I think Roxanne needs to successfully replace Liv for the story to really get traction, and then have Liv come back as a big baby face, because it's good. Like everyone sees how hard Liv has worked over the past year and a half, and it's going to be impossible to keep her heel when she comes back. Yeah. So to have her be replaced like this is I think the correct way to go about it. And I'm a big fan of Roxanne being the one to do that. Actually, I think it's better than I think she's in a better spot than a lot of other call-ups, because she's kind of fallen into a story. And look, everyone makes fun of the Judgment Day because they're constantly fighting on the verge of breaking up and they never break up. But I actually like that. I love that the Judgment Day are just a fixture of Raw. I want them to be Bullet Club except goofier. I want them to be a bad Bullet Club, and I mean a good type of bad, and just constantly never break up and just have new leaders and iterations. So I like that Roxanne's fallen into that, because it's guaranteed TV time every single week, multiple segments usually too. I'm sorry, Jim, you were gonna say?
No, I agree with you 1,000%. I just love that so many people compare Judgment Day to Bullet Club, and a lot of that is the connection with Finn, which it's Finn, yeah. But it's better when you recognize that Finn was not part of the original group of Judgment Day.
Yeah,
and he came in and it transformed with him, and it could not feel any other way. Obviously, the Judgment Day that first existed with Cope, that felt wrong. Just wouldn't have lasted the way this group did. But it's just you're right on the money, and I just love the irony that it's just Finn came in and took over, and he was never really the leader.
No, yeah, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, he's basically Cody in the Bullet Club, that's what he is in the Judgment Day. But I love it, so I'm happy that Roxanne and Raquel won, because you've heard that story. Although you could have done a Charlotte Alexa win, and look, Josh, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how much you've watched of our show. I am a Charlotte hater. Not the person. Not the person,
The character. The
character. But, and I haven't said this enough on the pod because we've barely covered WWE lately, but this is the most interesting Charlotte has been for me personally since 2018. Pretty much I gave up on Charlotte the second she won the title at SummerSlam 2018. I was I'm done with this person. I'm never going to be interested in Charlotte again. And for the most part, I've stuck to that. But this is the first time where I'm oh my God, yes, it's finally something different.
Yes.
For her to sink her teeth into and to show a different side of her. She's never had this, and it's so refreshing. And of all people, for it to be Alexa Bliss is I never would have, guessed that. So I'm very on board for this as someone who and that being said, hey, Charlotte just had that beautiful article in the Players Tribune, and I think it's humanized her to a lot of people, and I think that really helped her with this crowd, because I don't blame any crowds previously for turning on Charlotte. I don't think crowds are ever wrong to turn on people for whatever reasons they have. But after that article, all the real life stuff comes into play. It's nice that a crowd was on her side for once, and she got to enjoy that. Because, like you said, she's a human being. And, you want human beings to, you feel for them. You get swept up in the character aspects of it sometimes. You forget to think about the human being. But if I'm sticking to the character aspect of it, this is more exciting. I think I don't know about you, I expected her to win at Mania, and I accepted that. I wasn't even mad about it, even though I enjoyed booing her. I wasn't mad she was going to beat Tiffany, because I'm like, yeah, of course she would beat Tiffany. And if she didn't beat Tiffany, I was like, oh, everything felt directionless. Tiffany felt directionless. Charlotte felt directionless. And then Alexa Bliss, of all people, comes into play. And, I think Alexa Bliss, I'm giving her credit now, but I think when it's over, she'll also get a lot of credit for, I don't want to say revitalizing Charlotte's career, because she's still Charlotte. She was always going to be top of the card. But, I think she's going to get credit for revitalizing her in the fans' eyes and making her a more interesting and compelling character. So, seeing her, having that moment of her saving Alexa in the match, I think is going to go a long way for this team. And I do think they will be champion soon, or eventually, sometime this year, depending on how long Liv's comeback really is. So that's interesting. I almost feel bad the Kabuki Warriors were kind of afterthoughts in this, because it's this was clearly just to get Asuka and Kairi on the card, which is good. Better this than them just being bodies in the Battle Royal. But, we're always going to I don't think anyone's ever going to hate Asuka. I think everyone loves Asuka. Everyone that sees Asuka loves Asuka. So, she'll always be fine, even if we always want a little bit more for her. Well, she'll always be somewhat in the conversation. I think Sol Ruka was the standout of the match. The story beats were the most important part, but Sol Ruka was the standout performer. And I think whenever she gets called up, crowds will remember that. And, she's going to be so set when she comes up. She's not going to be one of those NXT call-ups that struggles. I think she's immediately going to be right up there in the mix of things. So for a match I was not invested in, look how much I had to say about it. Look how many good takeaways there were. This was successful for what it set out to do. So, I think A+ in terms of execution.
I also just want to add that I went into this match not wanting Charlotte and Alexa to win, but coming out of it saying in a couple of months I would love it. I think they did a great job by not having them win, because this story is developing so not too slowly, but it's a nice slow burn.
Not Triple H slow, but a nice pace,
Yes, I beautifully said. So I'm all for this. I do wonder if Liv wasn't injured, how would things have? Because I think they were setting up Liv versus Nikki. And then that got changed, obviously, that Nikki was in the Battle Royal. But then what would have happened to the women's tag titles? Would they have lost them ahead of the show, and then this match would have played out differently? It's very interesting to see how those dominoes would have fallen.
Honestly, I think we just don't have a tag title match, unfortunately. I mean, it's Triple H. When does he book tag teams on pay-per-views, So,
So
I think everyone would just be in the Battle Royal. That wasn't Liv or Nikki.
Well, sorry, Liv, you took one for the team here, but that sucks. But yeah, fun matchup, and I agree. I agree. We came out of this liking it a lot more than I think we expected to. So, well done by all the women involved in this matchup. Moving on to the match that probably made Danny roll his eyes the hardest, the WWE Women's Championship, as Tiffany Stratton defended against Trish Stratus. I grew up a gigantic Trish Stratus fan. I am always going to be happy to see the Undertaker of the women's division show up once or twice a year. The match was, I'll be honest, the match was surprisingly stiff. I felt they were kind of laying into each other just a little bit. And I don't know if there was some beef there. I don't know if these women just wanted to bring it, or I don't know if Tiffany is just slightly sloppy. But This was a hard hitting matchup where both women just really brought. I think this is one of Trish's better matches, in my opinion, of her many returns. I'd say Becky's probably the benchmark, but I'd say this is up there. There was a great not stratisfaction, but what's that one she does where she flips the opponent with her feet like overhead?
I mean, I think it's just a hurricanrana, right? Off the top rope.
It's when the person is sitting on the top rope and then Trish does like a handstand and then pulls them off. That's not really a hurricanrana, is it?
I mean, it's the same type of motion. I don't know what they call it. I feel like it's never had a name.
Well,
it's vintage Trish Stratus.
Vintage Trish Stratus. Thank you, Michael Cole. She hit it onto Tiffany from the outside to the outside, and Tiffany let out a shriek when she hit that. That was brutal to see. The finish coming after Trish failing to put Tiffy down with one failed stratisfaction attempt and then a successful stratisfaction attempt. Tiffany hitting a chick kick of her own and then the prettiest moonsault ever, getting the 1-2-3 and retaining her women's title. After the match, Tiffany made her exit and the crowd gave Trish a really nice, warm response to this legend's continued appearances. I'll throw it to Dash. Dash, what did you think of it? What did you think of Trish coming back? Do you think the match was worthy of both women? What did you think of everything?
So I will always be here for a Trish Stratus return. I love her so much ever since I was young. I really liked her gear too. It kind of reminded me of Lady Starlight from The Boys. Kind of had like white kind of like look. So I thought that was awesome. And Tiffany, she had like some red jewels going on, which I thought was super pretty. I'm surprised she didn't have a wardrobe malfunction. She surprisingly kept everything in place. When Trish Stratus came out, I feel like the crowd wasn't loud enough for me. Like, I don't know if everyone went on a bathroom break, but everyone got like loud pops all night. And it was really weird to see Trish not get it. But I mean, towards the end, she had her well-earned thank you Trish chance, and she was just pointing at the crowd, just taking in her moment. So that was pretty nice to see. And Trish never has any ring rust. Like, she's always killing it. She just went from being her teammate to being a competitor. But honestly, I feel like this match was kind of thrown together in our face. Like, here you go. And there was a point in the match where Tiffany did a moonsault and then Stratus right after the stratisfaction. And still, Tiffany just beat her. It's just like, whoa, they put all the effort in, and she just still got it. But Tiffany's okay champ. I mean, I'm not going to say her reign has been the greatest, Another person who's like, her builds for like this match wasn't all that great, but I guess this was kind of a match that they decided to throw together. But honestly, it was a nice match for what it was, I like the dynamic of the new school versus the old school. That's always cool to watch. But I do feel like there could have been a little more with this match. Like, I definitely feel like it didn't live up to my expectations, but it wasn't a bad match. That makes sense.
I get that. Disappointing, but not bad. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Danny, I know that for you, oftentimes Trish Stratus returns have sort of been diminishing. It doesn't have the same shine that it had when she first started making her return appearances. You might not have been excited going into the match, but did you enjoy it?
Actually, yeah, I really enjoyed the match. I thought, like you said, it was one of Trish's better matches and her multiple returns. With me, with the Trish stuff, it's just that like it feels weird that she went from having like a good and like feud and like character when she was back for like 8 months with like the Becky feud and like having Zoe and all this. It felt like very purposeful and like it was good, and the cage match was obviously like really, really good, but to just come back as like the smiling normal legend, it just felt like it's a little insulting. I kind of hate when legends do that sort of thing. Or like at least pretend what happened. Like, why are you just back out here being a smiling legend again? Like, So like, yeah, I wasn't like super excited to see this match, but because of that, I think it over delivered for me. Where I was like, this was the match I probably cared. Maybe I cared less about the NXT match because I'm not as tuned into NXT. But like, out of all the main roster matches, this was the one I probably cared the least about. And it delivered in that regard. Tiffany is great, even though her title reign has been a mixed bag, with all the Charlotte stuff and that whole mess that feels like it's not our place to comment on anymore, and that's for them to comment on. But like, I don't mind. Especially, I'll say this about Trish returning: since the show wasn't overstuffed and reliant on legends, it makes hers way better. Like, it's like, yeah, Goldberg went for the title last night, so why can't Trish go for it tonight?
Yeah.
I think that's totally fair. And I think in her promo or in her video package, she said, you're not giving me this match. I earned this match because of who I am. And I'm like, yeah, that's valid, actually. You know what? You make a fair point that I cannot refute. So, for what it was, I thought this delivered. Like, this wasn't the weak point on the card where it could have easily been going into it with the lackluster build. So, hats off to both of them.
Well said. And Trish agreed. She put on social media, she wishes this had more of a build. She wishes that they had more time to build this story. But she was going to make the most of it, and I think she did. I think both women did. So this was definitely to give a major win to Tiffy, so she can say she beat someone like Trish Stratus. That's going to be something that years down the road she's going to be able to keep that feather in her cap. So, yeah, not much more to say about the match. Happy that it happened, but, let's move on. Move on to the comments real quick. Going back a little bit, Maria saying she's a proud hater of the Judgment Day. And Judgment Day is nothing like Bullet Club. They are more like the Dork Order. Maria coming in.
That's fair too.
Maria coming in with some fire on that one. So, okay, Maria, bring it. Penguin saying odd couple Alexa Charlotte is interesting. I agree. Penguin saying, although he's still waiting on Alexa to be the co-leader of the Wyatt Six at some point, I don't know that that's happening. I feel like once upon a time that was definitely going to happen, but I think I think they're just keeping her away from it, and I think it might be better for everyone.
I also just think they're not going to ever really invest into the Wyatt Six. And
current tag team champions, the Wyatt Six, by the way.
That means they're never going to be on pay-per-view. So yeah, I still feel like what I said was right.
God, it hurts. It hurts. Maria saying, Dash, do you have something to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I said it does. Agree.
Yeah. Maria saying Sol Rucka reminds her of a rookie Surfer Sting. I get that. Kind of like a Valley Girl type thing with her. I get that.
No, I could see her with the Sting, like face paint, the Surfer Sting, like 3 lines. Yeah. Like I get that. I totally. It seems weird on paper, but it actually makes sense. I get it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Eric saying, now that Seth is out, Becky needs to lose to go home and take care of him.
Oh, I hope he's not out. That landing is pretty bad, but
it's not sounding good, and I wish him the best. I hope that this is a work, and he comes back with that Money in the Bank in at whether it's fucking SummerSlam or somewhere else. I'd rather that.
I really hope he was selling it, but he looked really mad walking down there. So,
I'll also say, Seth. We all here wish Seth, if he is injured, a speedy recovery. We never want to see injury on anybody, but pal, stop hitting that goddamn move, because you hit it last year or a couple years ago and you hurt your knee again. Stop hitting it. Stop hitting it. Like, you have so many cool moves. You don't need to hit a goddamn lion salt. Just hit another move, man.
Seth, you're CrossFit Jesus. You don't need to be doing flips anymore. Just like, you got a deep bag. You can take those moves out. But as far as Eric's comment, Eric doesn't know ball, so it's fine. He's
Ooh.
He's stupid.
Maria
said that she wanted Becky in the main event scene earlier, so Paul's gonna take care of Seth.
Paul, don't worry, Paul is gonna take care of Seth instead. I think we're all for that. Thank God we didn't get Nikki in a singles match. She sucks in Maria's opinion. I am a ride or die for Nikki Bella. Nobody's perfect, least of all me. So I'm gonna disagree with you there, Maria. But I think everything worked out, and I think she played a great role in the Battle Royal. Which should we go to the Battle Royal next or the No Holds Barred match next?
I guess we can talk about the No Holds Barred, right? Or it's up to you guys.
Let's do it. I know you were excited about it, so let's talk about it. No Holds Barred, Jade Cargill versus Naomi with special guest referee Bianca Belair. Now, I am going to remove myself from talking about this match too much, just because it's unfair to these women, considering the train wreck that I watched in person yesterday in a no DQ match in a main event of another company. I will say, I think that this was a very well booked matchup. I think both women had some very fun spots, and my only, I guess, critique is that I feel they could have done more to push the story with Bianca. I feel that Bianca did not play a big enough role in the matchup to the point that she didn't necessarily need to be the special guest referee. Other than that, I thought the match was very enjoyable, and I thought both Jade and Naomi brought it. And once the outcome, which was Jade Cargill beating Naomi with a top rope finish through a Slim Jim table, once that happened, I kind of had a feeling Naomi was going to cash in later in the night. That was just my opinion, and I got lucky being right. But yeah, Dash, I set you up. I know you were excited for this match. 1, did it live up to the hype? 2, what was memorable to you? And 3, do you think the right person won? Go for it.
Okay, so these two ladies did a lot in 11 minutes. I mean, they showed how hardcore they could get. Personally, I've seen more hardcore matches. I mean, it was no holds barred, but you know what I mean. Like, they showed how hardcore they could get, which was appropriate. And I agree with Bianca being the special referee. I thought she would, turn heel because a lot of people have been waiting on her to turn heel. But she really was just a fair referee, which was really shocking to me, honestly. But honestly, this is some of Naomi's best work. I do miss fist pumping with the glow up stuff, but honestly, her as a heel has just been so good. Like, her gear was fantastic. And yeah, Bianca, she looks so adorable in her referee gear. She does a lot of her own gear, so it's always cool to see what she comes up with. And Jade looks like a star, with the blue eyeshadow, the geometric gear. She just always looks amazing. So I could never not be excited to see how they look. But throughout this match, I thought Bianca was going to turn heel. So that was a little shocking, but Jade won fair and square. They started off the match throwing a lot of weapons in there. I saw a chair, a toolbox, a trash can. I mean, there was a time where Naomi had Jade chained up, and then Jade turned around and slapped her with the chain. I mean, it was pretty cool to see Jade do this kind of stuff. So I feel like they both brought that energy during the match. They kind of acted like they hated each other. Some people are very, very, skeptical of Jade's acting skills. Like, they feel like she doesn't sell a lot of stuff, or she does some of the same repetitive moves. But I feel like she improved in this match, especially when she did that Jaded through the table. I mean, the Slim Jim table kind of took me out of it for a bit. But Jaded through the table was pretty epic. That was something I didn't expect from her. So I was just really proud to see how far she's come, because honestly, a lot of people don't expect much from her. They feel like she does the same 3 moves. They feel like she's not, good enough to be a champion. But honestly, she looks like a star to me. So honestly, this was an amazing brawl.
So, I mean, with the Jade thing, maybe her moveset is a little limited, and she, her bag isn't as deep as other people, but we just saw the night before the retirement match of a guy whose bag is 2 moves deep in Goldberg, and he's a legend. You know, so like when you look like that, you work around that stuff. Like I don't want Jade to wrestle 20-minute matches all the time. You do that once in a while on a special occasion.
Remind people that you can. Remind people that you can, but that's not who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, like remember when like we make fun of Goldberg now, and you know, because it's fun. It's always fun to make fun of people. We're terrible people, but like, you know, when he came back in 2016, the best part about his run was that his match with Lesnar at Mania was 4 minutes long, and it was just huge move after huge move. Because sometimes when you're like that, less is more. But obviously, Jade has more like, you know, potential in ring wise than Goldberg did. But like, you know, just to use that like, because I like Jade. I've always liked Jade, and sometimes I'm not excited for her matches because if the opponent's not right, it's like, oh, you know, whatever. It is what it is. But like, this was one of her better. I would say maybe her second best match ever. Besides, like my favorite's the Chris Statlander one. I'm like a huge Statlander mark. So like, you know, I think that's the bar for that's her best match, and then this is like got to be second. I wish this was a little longer. I just said Jade doesn't have to have longer matches, but like this, since it was a hardcore match, I wish it was a little bit more because like, you know, Naomi was definitely willing to take some even crazier bumps. So like, you know, like they could have done a bit more. And with the Bianca thing, I agree, but I'm gonna be forgiven of it because clearly this was just because they wanted her on the show. Like if she wasn't injured, you know, I think she would have been in a big spot on this show. You know, like, and it was nice to see her. It was nice to see her get a huge pop and show that she's still like, you know, she's still right. But like, you know, if Rhea's like the top dog, like she's right underneath. You know, she's like the one. You know, she's 1B to her Rhea's 1A. You know, like, and she has been for years. You know, like those are like the modern Becky and Charlotte of like these are 2 top like women, and you know, Bianca's been a little bit on the back burner with the Jade tag team, but I think that's just enough where we actually don't need to turn her heel at the moment. Maybe that's still when it comes, because that's going to be a big deal. She's been a babyface for like 5 years now, like, so I think it's just
happen.
Yeah, it'll happen, but when it happens, it's going to be huge. Like it's going to be a
plan. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe if she's cleared in time, especially now if Naomi's going to be on Raw. And you want to keep Jade hot and have her feuding with top names, that might be the way to do it. The only problem is I don't think the crowds are going to boo Bianca over Jade in that scenario because Bianca just has a lot of equity with the crowd. But yeah, this was what it was. Like I said, it was a little less exciting than it could have been, but it still was fun. Ultimately, again, there's like no major weak links on this show, so like this was still a fun match regardless.
I agree.
There was this part when Jade grabbed the toolbox and she threw it outside of the ring, and it looked so heavy. I thought it was gonna hit Naomi, but Naomi just moved out the way quickly, and I was just like, no way. And then when Naomi drop kicked her into the announce table and there was sparks flying, I thought that was pretty epic.
That was nice. Yeah.
I enjoyed that spot a lot too. And I don't know how recent. Go ahead, Danny.
I was gonna say I have one nitpick of this match besides I wish it was longer. Why did Jade grab the camera from the cameraman and just hit Naomi in the gut once and then throw the camera?
I thought they were gonna go POV, honestly.
Yeah, why didn't we see we know it's like not your best camera, but like you always have when wrestlers grab a camera, they show the POV.
Yeah, we
like that bothered me. Like that bothered me.
Maybe that camera wasn't even on.
Yeah,
it was a prop camera. It was a prop camera. They were working us, everybody. I'm not saying that mockingly. I mean that genuinely. I think that might have been it. It might.
100%. I mean, we knew it was a prop once Jade chucked it onto the floor. But it just felt like you could have got more out of that, you know, even just like do a headshot, you know, like do the hands up headshot. Like, you know, like it was like, why grab it for one shot to the stomach?
Yeah, I was expecting like a view, but can't expect much with, you know, Triple H era.
Any
That's true.
chance, and I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I'll dunk on Triple H
Down and
whenever.
enjoy
That's
the
like one of my
show.
favorite.
That's what he says. Just sit down and enjoy the show, guys.
Be a fan. Be a fan. In the words
be a
of
fan.
Bubba Ray Dudley. But all right, guys, we're here. Last match. We have the Battle Royal for the number one contender spot for a World Championship match at Clash in Paris. This match, I think it was 20 participants. And I'm going to run down them real quick. We had Ivy Nile, Stephanie Vacar, Zelina Vega, Julia, Jada Parker, Nikki Bella, who came out to a huge pop, by the way. Just absolutely huge pop for Nikki Bella. Chelsea Green, Nia Jax, Maxine Dupree, Natalia, who, boy, do I have stuff to say, Lola Vice, Nishin, B-Fab, Candice LeRae, not Candice Michelle, Michael Cole, Tatum Paxley.
Times.
Right? Like, and he's acknowledged that he's been corrected by her about this.
If I could just real quick, earlier in the show, Wade Barrett was like, whatever this move is called, I'm sorry, I'm sure the internet's going to correct me. And Michael said, yeah, they correct me all the time. And then later in the same show, you do this shit. And like, this is why people give you shit, Michael, because you do this kind of stuff all the time. Becky goes for an armbar. You call it the disarmer every time. You look dumb when you do that. Like, you can't, that's, sorry, I don't want to dunk on
Oh, no,
Cole too much,
I agree with you. Pat McAfee fried this man's brain. But
I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised there wasn't any like female announcers, since at the first Evolution there were like female announcers, but
yeah,
like I just give it to Wade Barrett and Michael Cole, they'll kill it.
I agree.
But I did enjoy the all women referees. I thought that was super epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, a really nice touch. And I agree with you. I was hoping for a commentator, a woman
Guess they can
commentator.
find any,
I think that's it. I just don't think they had anybody that they trusted. Like, I think maybe, I think it would have gotten real old real quick. I think they maybe could have put Stephanie in that role, but I think I would have gotten real tired of it really, really fast.
I will say she was really bad during like the first Women's Rumble. Like, she was like a fan, but a fan that was only like semi invested in what was going on. She'd be like, "Oh wow," and then add nothing after. They could have got Beth, because Cope is an AEW, but she's not.
I think she specifically is kind of on the outs with WWE. I don't think it's anything major that they're not going to be able to come back from, but I think she's kind of like, I think she needed a break from WWE.
I mean,
but yeah, I would have loved Beth.
Who doesn't?
I do want to go back to just one comment that I missed talking about the No Holds Barred match. Eric saying that he called this months ago, but he feels like they're still headed towards a triple threat at Mania or Jade Bianca winning the Rumble. I just don't see an instance where, as much as I would like it, I don't think Naomi's holding the belt that long. I just don't see her holding it until Mania.
I agree. See, Eric, who we like to pretend we don't know who that is, but he is a somewhat valued member of this podcast group. He likes to think that every single thing that happens is lead into Mania. And although I think he makes a good case in this point, I agree there's no way Naomi holds the title to Mania, because I don't think she's one of Triple H's favorites. I'll just say. Because for whatever reason you think that may be with Triple H in particular. But Eric, not everything is built into a Mania match, even though I agree with them that I do think we are going to get a triple threat between the three of them at a Mania. I just don't know if it's going to be a title match or just a grudge match, because there's precedent now. We saw a triple threat with nothing on the line, main event night one of Mania this year. So, it's very, very possible. But yeah. You could continue with whatever you were saying, James. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you for addressing it. But going back to the list, Candice LeRae, Tatum Paxley, Piper Niven, Alba Fire, Kalani Jordan, Izzy Dame, and Lash Legend. As all Battle Royals, it's not this one, it's not with the women, it's any Battle Royal. There's always going to be a level of clunkiness It's inherent to how many people are in the ring, how many big people need to get spots, and just the pacing. It's always going to be a little funky. I think overall, this match was good. I especially loved. We'll get into some of the spots, especially ones that you guys liked. But I really enjoyed the final four being Nikki, being Stephanie, being Nia, and being Lash Legend. I was really afraid that Nikki was going to be in the final two. And it would have been very, not because I dislike Nikki. Obviously, I really do like Nikki. But one, I thought it would have been just a little too predictable. And it would have felt, thank you, Dev, well said. And two, I think it would have just felt a little forced in giving the winner, who turned out to be Stephanie Vicar. I think it would have just felt a little forced into giving her that win. So I really like that Nikki made it to the final four, but only the final four. And then I loved the fact that Nia wasn't in the final two either, because you had these two fresh talents that, for the most part, the crowd is very into. Obviously, Stephanie is on a different level right now from most of the division, but Lash has a good amount of support. And I don't think people would have necessarily hated the idea of her winning. I think people were very clearly in Stephanie's corner, but I think the fact that you have these two fresh talents, people would have been happy no matter what. And I think Lash looked great. I think the finish was great. If you are going to make me watch Stephanie's Devil's Kiss multiple times a match, if you're going to force that to us, that's a creative way of using it and a great way of ending the match.
Can I compliment the crowd and shit on the commentators real quick? Oh my god, commentary is so unbearable during this move. Obviously the move is like, it is what it's goon bait, and it's like, it's still a cool move, and like, it's fine to enjoy the move for what. I can't sit here in good faith and say fans are bad for enjoying that while I enjoy what Toni Storm does in her matches and segments, you know, like, so like, to be fair is fair, you know, like, but commentary is so, like, it gets under my skin where I'm like,
they mentioned Booker T and stuff. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Oh my, first of all, I hate Booker T's commentary in general, but like for that, like, or that's not true. I loved Booker T in like 2009, but like, you know, his commentary during that move is so bad to me, and the fact that they're carrying it over the main roster, it gets under my skin so
in
much.
A worse way too. I don't want to cut you up, because with Booker, it's funny because he's this older guy, like he's unk for a lot of people. Like, it's like, all right, it's creepy funny.
Yeah, there's a sense of charm, a bit of charm to it. Yeah.
But Reed, who is a much younger man, literally saying bouncy, 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 bouncy.
Oh my god!
I felt like I needed a little bit of a shower, just a little bit.
I want to compliment the crowd because they didn't do the Booker T noise; they counted.
Yeah,
like, I was like, oh my god, please let this catch on with crowds. Please just count, like we do for the Cesaro swing, you know, or the Claudio swing. Just count instead of doing that. And maybe that's just me being no fun, I guess. But like, I'd rather the count than Wade Barrett and Booker. Like, you know, people much older than Stephanie and much older than a lot of their fan base. I hate when old people try to sound like kids, you know, in general, like, you know, so like, let's find a different way around this. But you go back to recapping the end of the match, James. I'm sorry.
I really enjoyed the finish. Stephanie obviously makes the most sense going into a big title match at Clash. And I think for the most part, a lot of people shined. Kalani Jordan had a really great spot. She had her Kofi spot, doing her handstand from the announce table back into the ring, using her balance off of the ropes with her feet to get back in. I thought that was very well done. Jada Parker looked really good. Chelsea had some very fun moments, as she's obviously going to do. Again, as someone who is putting a lot of stock into Lash Legend, I thought she looked really good in this as well. I don't know if it's just me being very critical. It was a bummer to see Julia kind of just not feel important in the match.
Right.
And I guess the only other one, and I brought it up, Danny, I'll let you give me your feelings on it too, because I'm going to throw to you. Natalia doing the worm. She somehow botched that.
Listen, I'd rather not talk about Natalia because I don't want to be mean. This is a celebratory show, you know. Like I'm a Dash. Like there's a few people. I've said multiple times how I prefer women's wrestling in WWE, but there's a few other girls that I'm just not fans of, and Charlotte being one of them. But I feel like I was pretty nice to Charlotte tonight, and I, make it a point. Natalia is one of those others. I have nothing nice to say about Natalia, so I'm gonna just gonna move past that. I'm gonna tell you my favorite spot of the match, though. I loved Alba Fire diving out of the ring to save Chelsea from being eliminated. I thought that was so cool and so unique for a battle royal. I haven't seen anything like that. Like that got me actually hyped. Like I was kind of like James said, the beginning of this match is a little like clunky because it's a battle royal. They all are. But when she did that, I was like, oh, now I'm sitting forward. I'm into it now. I'm like, that's so cool. Chelsea was like the narrative thread of the first half of this, or the first 2/3 of this match. And you always need that person that is the thread of a match. I was talking about it with the gauntlet matches, but like same thing with the battle royal. And Chelsea was that, and to a lesser extent, like Nia Jax, or not actually equally, Nia Jax was, because the big person in a battle royal is always going to be, an important part of the match. But like, Nia's throwing out Tatum Paxley right away. That was upsetting. I wish Tatum Paxley was in the match longer, but it is what it is. I think the right person won. I think Stephanie Vakura is on her way to being the next Rhea Ripley. I think in a year and a half time, she's going to be same exact level. That she is the future of the division without a doubt. So it's the right winner. Nikki was good in the legend spot. Like James said, she got a huge pop. So that's good for her. Not a big Nikki guy, but like I think she has her place and I think she has her value. And I think this was the perfect use of that. So like, no complaints here in that regard. It's a little weird that Brie is just completely MIA in this situation. Like, whatever. It is what it is. But I'm not going to war for a Bella twin. But like, it's a little odd.
I think one has. I think one is unencumbered by baggage, and one has a husband who just did a massive yes chant in front of 24,000 people for another company. And I think that's kind of it.
Well, that was Blue Panther that did the yes chant. There's no way of knowing who did that under the mask, but I do think they are petty enough to do that, but I think they're also petty enough where they want her in, and so they could be like, come to us this weekend. Don't go watch your husband's stuff, kind of thing. One who was in AEW, actually. Both the Bella twins were, trying to get into AEW at one point when they were on the outs with WWE a year ago. So, like, let's not pretend that they didn't make up real quick this year. But anyway, I think the right person won. It was an exciting match. I think Battle Royale is always fun, especially once you get to the second half. The first half's always going to be a little like whatever, but once you get to that second half, it gets real fun. But yeah, I guess we'll throw to Dash because James, I feel like you've talked enough. We'll just go straight into Dash, like because there's so much. You've talked about everyone's gears and looks. I don't know if you could do that for this whole match, but like, what do you got for us?
Well, I mean, everyone looked amazing, of course, but that would be too much. I mean, they just looked all awesome, but not exactly.
All right, give your top two like standouts in terms of gears and look.
Okay, so definitely Chelsea Green. I always love the steampunk hat that she puts on, always different colors, or a little detachable skirt, and then the Secret Hervis. They just look so good together. So I'd say that that was one of the good looks. I also really like Zelina Vega's look. You know, she got
I
like
did
the
too.
half black, half white,
Yeah.
kind of giving Corella Deville. So I'll give it to her. You know, Nikki with her hat, her Jordans, just classic Nikki, honestly. But everyone looked amazing, and Nia Jax too. She's just so gorgeous. She did win the first battle royale, so you know she came out swinging. Like she threw Kaylani out, thought she eliminated her. Kaylani landed on the table, and then she had her Kofi moment, which I thought was super cool. And she
Yeah.
recently got engaged to Carmelo, so I'm so happy for her. Like
Oh,
they're
good for them.
so cute together. But other than that, I felt like Maxine was really doing her thing during this match. Like she assisted with like a triple suplex. So I thought that was pretty epic. And then, you know, she did her worm, but then Natalia did the worm. I do agree. The worm was a little bit botchy, but it's Natty. I mean, I'm always gonna love her, but you know, she's kind of like the auntie. You know, she's just taking all the rookies under her wing. So she's kind of one of the last divas too, so I will always love her. But I was very surprised to see Zelina Vega eliminate Julia like that. Like she sent her into the ring post, and then Julia's gone. I thought Julia would at least be like top 4 or something like that, but I guess I was wrong. So I was super surprised to see her get eliminated early, honestly.
I was too, but I will say in Julia's, like, to salvage her a bit, she did get the last entrance, which made her feel like kind of a big deal. So that was nice. And then I guess they're going to keep the Vega Julia thing going, and that's why Vega eliminated her.
That makes sense, but it was just so fast, and I wasn't expecting it.
I agree.
But I did really like that moment with Lola and Nikki when they did their little spin around dance. I thought that was super cute. Because, you know,
was nice.
Lola has her own dance, Nikki has her own dance. And honestly, Piper did a lot of damage during the match. Like her and Alba was just helping Chelsea. Like I thought Chelsea was going to be like top 3, honestly. But later on, they just all teamed up and eliminated her. So I was really proud of Lash Legend too. Like I love Lash Legend. I feel like she just did really good in this match. So I feel like that's gonna set her up for like more stuff, in the future. But it was really cool to see her and Vakur like be the last 2. Even though, she ended up getting eliminated. I didn't think she'd make it that far. So I feel like this was a pretty good Royale. They did a lot in 15 minutes, honestly, And that last moment with the 2 Stephanies, Vaquer and McMahon, when she spoke in Spanish, I thought it was a bit cringy, but I guess she's trying to acknowledge the Latin wrestling community and stuff. But I really liked Vaquer's speech, though. It was really.
I liked the line where English isn't my first language, but wrestling is. That's a good line.
Mm-hmm. She gave a lot of respects to like the former women's wrestlers before her time, so it warmed my heart. It's just like, wow, the future.
And I liked how she finished it. That people will know her name. It felt very epic.
Yeah,
it felt like you could put in a high package.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's gonna be the next Rhea Ripley, 100%.
I missed out on a good pay-per-view trying to be anti-Fed.
That's funny. No, that's because the way you gotta have done it. You don't watch anything WWE put on yesterday. You watch All In, and then you watch Evolution today. And then you're like, I'm not watching your Solo Sikoa Jimmy Uso match. Get out of here. I ain't here for Jelly Roll. I'm here for the women and for All In. I'm here to see a cowboy win a title.
Can't wait for Jelly Roll's match. Can't wait.
Yep. I guarantee he probably will be decent too. But I don't want to see it.
Oh my God, that picture.
Oh, it's funny.
My God.
That picture of him is so funny.
It is. Maybe the real Texas death.
What were we saying?
Oh, no. I was going to say maybe the real Texas death is the friends we made along the way.
I am here for the cowboy bromance. Gay cowboys, when has that story ever been told? But we have been here for quite a long time. And I feel like we should wrap up. Not just because we talked about every match, but I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. Way, way more than I expected to. I knew I was going to have a good time. I had a great time watching it. Lots of highlights, very, very few lowlights, and even the lowlights weren't that low. So
pretty much.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent show. Danny, I'm going to throw to you first. Favorite match, highlight of the night.
I mean, my favorite match was the triple threat because I just that the chemistry between those three ladies is unparalleled, and the story going in was perfect. So it just felt the most complete from start to finish. But the highlight, it's either Io doing the crossbody off the boxes in the crowd or the cash in. It's like a coin toss. Like I don't know. I'm kind of here for I kind of always want to go with the big spot because I love big spots. But like the cross-branded cash in, like that's a huge plus for me. I went over why I thought it was so great, so I think that's got to be the highlight of the night.
I respect that. Dash, we've been trying to bring you here for a while, and I'm glad that we kind of waited for this great show. I know you were excited to watch it, and I hope it lived up to your expectations. What was your favorite match of the night, and what was your highlight of it?
So my favorite match is the main event. I'm going to be cliche. Huge fan of Io, huge fan of Rhea. And honestly, the highlight for me was probably the cash in. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. And honestly, I just can't wait to see what Naomi has in store tomorrow night when she just steps in Raw like, yeah, I'm the champ now. But honestly, an honorable mention would probably be the Jaded through the table, because I didn't think that Jade would go that far. So I feel like she's gradually improving, and I'm like really excited to see what she has in store.
No,
solid pay-per-view. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
Love it.
Yeah, somewhere around there seems about good. Like I don't know what more we could have gotten here. I guess
we shall.
I wish Liv was here, for it. Like I feel bad for her, but like
I know that's my queen. Like if she was in this pay-per-view, I would not shut up about her, honestly.
I get it. Eric, can you go back to that tweet? I know you're scrolling past it, but we didn't really get a chance to talk about it. I'll just highlight it really quickly. Triple H on the post show tonight says it's a we shall see when it comes to Evolution being a yearly event. Triple H says, I don't want to say it's yearly. It's not yearly. I think we see what that demand is for it, because as the demand for the women grows every day, it becomes less about having their own show and more about, like, that's the equality. It's all there, and they don't have to have their show to be in the spotlight. But if it works, we'll definitely go down that road. So I think it's a we shall see. What a terrible answer.
We're going to have 6 more years.
You're right. Seriously. I actually respect the concept of what he was saying, which is I would love to see the women just be an equal part of the show. And I respect that. That's what AEW does. That's what TNA does. That's what a lot of places do. But the reality is you're booking 5-match pay-per-views. And for the most part, many deserving people are just not getting on your cards. So if the only way I'm going to see so much incredible women's action is at these Evolution pay-per-views, make them twice a year, and I'll be happy.
Right, so Saturday night's main event, we just get Evolution.
Yeah, why not?
Literally.
A single women's match.
Right, we had to have that all men's pay-per-view the night before. We couldn't just get it done. But no, like Triple H, if anyone else was saying what he was saying, fine. I mean, that's more or less what Becky was saying in like her book and like interviews and stuff, where it's like, I don't necessarily want Evolution. I just want the women to be treated equally. I want to have more women's matches on a show than men's matches, so it's not a token gesture. And like that would be great coming from anyone's mouth, but the guy who is making it a token gesture, like, it's like when he skirts around why the women did a main event night 1, and he couldn't obviously tell the truth, which is that Roman's not going to work unless he's main eventing, because he's the real Hogan of all the people we're calling Hogans. But like,
I miss him.
Really? Not used to this by now? He's always gone.
I know. I always miss him. My tribal chief.
Well,
I used to.
Imagine anyone else but Triple H saying it. It's not as bad, but when it's the guy who's booking the show, it's like, bro, like, come on. Like, how can you say that? It's like when Cody said, "Oh, wrestling's apolitical. It doesn't matter who's Republican and who's Democrat." It's like, who did Triple H and Stephanie take a picture with recently? You can't say these things in these situations. Like, coming from a third unbiased party, it's an okay statement, but it's not coming from an unbiased party. So it's like, yeah, Triple H can't say these things. It is. But I don't want to end on a damp note talking about Triple H. So let's go back to talking about how fun the show was.
Era.
I'll quickly just tell you guys my favorite match of the night was probably the triple threat. Highlight of the night was the cash-in. But to copy you, Dash, the honorable mention, just because I thought it was so freaking cool. I really loved how Becky pinned Bayley. That was so that pin. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that type of pin before. It feels so simple, but it was just done so effectively and so cool. This tweet, Liv Morgan would have thrown herself through the entrance screen the way all the women were working tonight. Yeah, I agree. And God willing, when Liv comes back, she gets to be highlighted the way she should and is given the flowers that she deserves.
Absolutely.
Sure, she's gonna be a huge babyface. It's gonna be It's gonna be good.
In the division for like 2 months. 2 years. So
yeah, she really was.
Yeah, if I could give an honorable mention, since you guys did, it was Alba Fire's dive to save Chelsea. That was a really cool spot to be. Like,
the suicide dive was pretty good.
Yeah.
Made worse by the fact that Michael Cole was like, she eliminated herself in it. No.
It's like, no, she didn't do the second. It would have been cool if she eliminated herself. Like, that also would have been a good spot.
Yeah.
Like, for a lackey to do for their leader. But, like, look, we're not going to, I don't want to talk about comments anymore. Let's end on the high note that we had a great show, despite the bad build-up and the way it almost felt like the women were set up. They came out and delivered once again to show why they should get Evolution every year, but more so why they should be more prominent on all the cards, because they're just like, it just feels like they care more and they're trying like harder and doing the best they can with what they got. Like, I say the show was a complete success in spite of everything else, and hats off to everyone on the card tonight. No weak links.
Absolutely.
Strong agree. Well, everybody, it is late. We appreciate having us on your screens and in your homes or wherever you're watching us. Dash, I hope it's not 6 years before we get you back on the pod. We would love to have you back. You were an incredible, incredible guest, and we would love to see you back soon. Danny, you were an incredible guest. It is a pleasure to have you. I hope it's not another 6 years before you join us again. But I am James Gisanti.
Wait, hold on. Before we complete, Dash, do you want to plug anything? Do you want to? Yeah.
Oh, so this is my Instagram handle as well as my Twitch handle. If anybody wants to follow me, I occasionally stream myself playing video games and stuff. And yeah, I also, like going to shows, going to concerts, just doing random stuff. So thanks for having me on the podcast. It's been pretty fun talking about wrestling. I feel like I just, had like a full-blown conversation with people I've known for like a long time.
We have that effect.
No, it was fantastic having you. You were.
Yes. It was like my first time, so it was pretty fun to chat it up. We went on longer than we expected, but it's okay. We'll go to sleep soon.
Look, if you want to come back, I'll fire someone else from the pod right now. Okay, it's that quick. That's how welcome back you are. You don't know him, but we're about to fire this guy Dylan so we can have you on again.
That's a huge compliment because Danny loves Dylan. So the fact that he's willing to do that speaks a lot to you. But guys, truly, thank you so much. Evolution rocked. You guys rocked with me. I am here, James Gisanti, with Danny Hernandez, Dashiell. This is the Mark It Down podcast. It's been a while since I've ended the show. I hope I do it correctly. Danny, are you going to do it for me, please?
No. I remember.
This is James Gisanti, and we're playing the outro.